Summon Sign is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia. Everyone, welcome to episode 77 of Summit Sign, Last Stand Media's weekly in-depth game discussion podcast. I'm your host, as always, Brad Ellison. Joining me, I got two awesome dudes. First, we're going to start with Mr. Lord Cognito. Cog, what's up? Doing the shinobi pose, yeah?
You already know I'm doing my shinobi, I'm doing my run.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, man, it's good seeing you, man. Again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm got in LA, chilling. You know, that's it. It was funny. We had like mini LSF, me, you, Dustin, Chris. You know what I'm saying? At one moment, that was super dope. We just missing G now, Hogue, and a few others, man. But yeah, it was dope to get together.
Yeah, it's rare when we get to see each other. It's like once a year, maybe now. So It's good. It's a good celebration.
Yes. But I'm doing good.
Yes. Hopefully you had some time to recover. I know you're still busy.
Anyway, it's been nonstop. I'm trying to keep up with Gene, man.
Yeah, Gene's a busy man. Yes, and you heard it. Mr. Gene Park, Washington Post, punching up co-host. What's up, dude?
Things could be better, but I'll try to bring the energy today.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about some games. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah. Dude, we're talking about some good games today. Got some good people. And sorry I couldn't make it to Summer Game Fest. I will never attend Summer Game Fest, I think. I think I'll never go to that thing. Game Awards, yeah, for sure. I actually want to do that. But Summer Game Fest, I don't know if I really need to or want to, you know?
Sure, if you're not into like covering stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm not into I don't cover new games, you know. Like I wouldn't really preview Resident Evil 9 even if I was there, you know. Although I like to play it, you know. And
you'll play it when it comes out. Yeah,
but I'll play it when it comes out, you know. But like the audience knows me. I'm not like that into like previews or hype or anything like that. You know, I get excited about games when I'm playing them. That's literally it. You know, I don't get excited about trailers. I don't get excited about the potential like release of this or the announcement of this. That doesn't do anything for me until the game is in my hands. I am investing my time into it.
Yeah, when it's real.
Yeah, real shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, before we end the show, please check us out on patreon.com/laststandmedia. If you'd like to support us, you can get early access to this show, as well as all of our other shows, including Defining Duke, which Cog is a host on, our Xbox podcast. Always funny over there. The Dark Ages right now going on in there.
Yeah, it's wild.
For a lot of, it's crazy. Always good content in there. And I love it. Of course, punching up the Nintendo podcast, me and Gene hosts. You want to get all your latest goofy Nintendo news and weird shit, whatever we talk about. We go off the rails there as well. We also got some merch at laststandmedia.store if you want to get some stuff like t-shirts, stickers, all that good stuff. Micah will send it out to you personally. All right. This is from the Uncharted Wolf.
Yeah, what a shirt! Shirts like these.
Oh yeah, Gene's wearing a Sega symbol, so a very nice one.
Yeah. I definitely. When I saw this, I was like, "Oh, I want that one."
Did you take it from their house?
Yeah. I just got it from the garage. I did. Shout out to the commenters who called me out on calling you and Dustin the Blowjob Brothers.
Hey, yo, what we doing?
Don't worry, dude.
At the same time that I was staying at Colin's house.
Yeah.
But the difference though is that I was taking Colin's wife out for a hangout. You know? Not very blowjobby of me, is it?
Well, no.
I mean, I give Colin a blowjob later, but you know.
Messy.
Yeah, there's been a lot of gay jokes going on with me and Dustin. A lot going on,
man.
I think Colin planted a seed, and it's just been nonstop. People are saying like, are they playing footsies during that podcast and all this stuff?
Yeah, they're going in person. Someone's like,
they're going in. Don't worry, we'll have our revenge.
Yeah, but like when you guys record it in your kitchen room or whatever like that, literally fireworks went off when you guys were talking.
Yeah,
remember?
That's right. Yeah, the chemistry was just so good.
I was like, that's what happens when you nut, you know?
Yeah, exactly. All right, this is from the Uncharted Wolf. Hey, boys. Cog, can you explain to Brad the level of heartbreak you experienced when he came out of the Shinobi booth talking about how much he loved the game and asked if you got an appointment? Generally one of the funniest stories I've heard on Duke, and he needed to demand an apology from Brad for his actions. KZ Icon also wrote it, said, hello, sexy summoners. I need to give a major sword out to Brad. Our boy Cog was fighting for his life to play Shinobi at SGF, even having to play Demon Slayer just to be right next to the game. But here comes Mr. Ellis. Hope I got your name right. Sorry, you did. Straight up cucking my mans about how he got to play the game and how amazing it was, while Cog holds back the tears. Luckily, he have a G like Maddie, forgetting to email Sega and giving him the happy ending he deserves. All jokes aside, thanks, and I love the content. Keep it up. All right, hold on. First of all, I played Demon Slayer as well. Just putting it out there before Shinobi. Okay. And I didn't have an appointment. I just went up to them and was like, yo, you got any free space going on right now? That's the way you do it. You bug these people. You let them know you want to play, and that's how you get in.
Hold on, I got to stop. What day did you did that?
The last day. I think the last day.
On Monday or was that Sunday?
I think it was the last day. Monday.
Monday was the last day. I saw it. So you just bogarted. You just came through. Yeah. Wow, levels is different. See, when you got that Bradley first name, G, you got that Ellis, you got an aura about you. The energy they gave me was like, dear child, you keep coming back, but you're not letting you in here. Yeah, because I'm sitting there, I'm like, bro, the first day, like Friday, Saturday, I'm gonna check it out. Because Maddie gave me the word. He's like, bro, it's there. I was like, really? Summer Games Fest? Shinobi, sure. He's like, bro, I'm telling you, it's there. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm emailing around, being professional. And then, the day off, you go to the Sega bar, find out where they are. I'm like, all right, cool. So he's like, yes, they are here. And he's like, we are booked. So I didn't stress it the first day. I'm like, all right. I said, do me a favor. Anything opens up, just let me know kind of energy. And then the next day went past. So I'm like, man, this ain't looking good. So I remember I was like, well, what else do you guys have? So they had the Sonic. And then they had Demon Slayer. So you know me, I don't really do the anime like that. But I'm like, you know what? Let me do that. Get in proximity, get in the room, and then boom. So I'm sitting there, and the painful part, Brad, is I get in there, and Shinobi is right there next to me. People playing, and I'm sitting, and I don't really like Demon Slayer. So I'm sitting there with the face like, don't need that kind of number. Because my favorite game of all time is here. Like, oh man. So what makes this hilarious is that, like I said, Monday, which is the final day, it's not going down. It's looking spooky for me. So I'm like, all right. And remember, every day you saw me, I had my IOP shirt, and with the guys, stuff like that. So I said, I happened to buy a Sega Shinobi Art Adventure shirt that just came out. The weekend it came in the mail right before I on the plane, like a day before. So I was like, I'm going to manifest this. Put the Shinobi shirt on. Show my Sega fandomness. Had the old picture of me with the Sega arcade Shinobi in my house. Like, I'm like, hey guys, big fan of the game. Anything opens up. So they was like, yeah, we're really still booked, right? So at this moment, I'm defeated. It's over. This is Monday. This is the last day because you figure Monday's the cancel day.
Yeah.
So then you come out. Whoop. Yeah. So I'm like, listen, he's like, yo, bro, I just played Shinobi. It was everything like you just said it was. It was amazing. So I'm sitting there, I'm trying to keep it together. And I'm like, where? Oh, all right. You didn't realize how much pain I was in. I had to keep the face together. I didn't know. Your energy was so great. And I was like, wow, he just played. And it's over for me. So I'm like, damn. So anyway, how this thing ended up was I left, my number or whatever it is. I go to the food truck section to go eat. So then maybe 30 minutes later, I see a phone from a Japanese number. I'm like, what's this? They were like, hey, it's Lord Cognito. What do you do? Are you available now? So I'm like, yes. Pew!
Right over there.
Got in there, got a chance to play my beloved. The game is amazing. But here's the now full circle LSM moment. I tell, because Maddie had the first part of the story, right? This up until Saturday, not until the Monday story. So I tell him what happened, and then he said, "Wait a minute, Cog, what day was your appointment?" And he was like, "Monday." I was like, "Monday, maybe 1, 2 in the afternoon, maybe." Come to find out, that was his appointment.
Oh,
he never canceled officially.
Yeah.
They called him, and then he must have emailed back, say, hey, no, I'm not making it. I'm not feeling well, COVID, whatever. it was definitely Maddie's appointment. So it was full LSM involvement in this Shinobi story, which makes it absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. Do you have a business card, Cog?
Yes.
Okay, I was like, business card is the move. That's the move, dude, to give them. So they have your information right there. They don't got to write it down and look at it later.
Good call. Good call.
Give them the card.
Normally I do that. It's funny because they were trying to push me towards the forum and the thing, but you're right. I probably should have just
hit him with the card.
Do that. Yeah.
Hit him with the card, man.
Good call out.
Just let him know that you're not messing around.
I got to pull a Brad, man. You smooth with it, bro.
That's how you do it, man. That's how I got all of Bandai. Bandai like wouldn't eat like me, Dustin cried. Then we went in there. First of all, they thought I was with Easy Ally still because they recognized my name, and I was like, "No, it's been a while."
That boy still got that pull. Yeah. And then like Gene's like a year removed for watching their posts, and they go, Gene Park, here he is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I got you.
Because I used to cover like a lot of their games back in the day, like Code Vein. I reviewed and all that stuff. Salute. I have history with them in that sense. But yeah, it was just funny. You just got to ask. That's how I play Pragmata and all that kind of stuff.
I'm learning, bro. I'm learning from you.
Hit him with the smile, man. Hit him with the
smile. Hit him with the card.
Hit him with this. Yeah, be nice. Be friendly. Mm-hmm. Much more likely to go your way. Be cool. Be chill.
I was too desperate.
You were desperate.
I was too thirsty for the date. I was like, I want the girl now. Yeah. I'm doing all this to impress.
Dude, I get it. You know better, Cog. You know better than
I know. I lost it. I was out of character, G, man.
Dude, Shinobi
games don't come around.
I know. I get it. You
I lost it. Yeah, I lost my G. I lost my G on that one.
Everyone's got those games where they're like, I need to play. The Final Fantasy 7 Part 3, I'm going to be like, I'm going to be pulling up real fast.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there was a game
kicking down the door.
When I went to E3 in 2003, 2004, like I was like that for like Metal Gear Solid 3 and like Halo 2. I don't know if I really be like that for another game right now. I don't know.
I got you.
Yeah.
No Resident Evil.
Not even Resident Evil. I want to play the whole thing. I got you. Like a Zelda, like and for like Nintendo games, I actually go up to New York to do that. I get pretty excited for that.
Nice.
Like I was pretty excited to play Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, nice. Not as far as travel for you either. It's not across the country.
Exactly.
So it's a little easier.
No doubt.
Okay, let's see here. This is from Nevitz. Hello, summon guest. Several weeks ago, I wrote in looking for a good Souls-like game to be my first in the genre. I played through the Stellar Blade demo this weekend, and it got my fingers itchy for this type of gameplay, but my PC can just barely run Stellar Blade on low settings. Not sure if I should try to brave Stellar Blade on PC and hope my PC doesn't explode, or get Liza P on Xbox Series X. Thoughts? I would get Liza P.
Liza P is a much better game.
If your PC is going to blow up, yeah.
Yeah. Also, Liza P is just a much better game. It's a better representation of the Souls genre.
Yeah, it's closer traditional.
Yeah, Stellar Blade is arguably closer to like it's definitely got Souls elements, but it's probably like a mix of Souls and God of War.
Yeah, a little more combo focus, maybe.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah, Liza P's great, man. The DLC just came out. Absolutely worth playing.
We'll be talking about that soon. So.
Yeah,
nice.
We will.
I want to hear about it. Nice.
Yeah, so Nevitz, check out Liza P. All right, guys. I'm going to do a weird little new segment just because you two are here, and I know you guys both like Sega. Calling this Bring 'em Back Sega Edition. What's a Sega game or series we need to come back? Doesn't need to be. It could be something like a remaster or an all-new installment. Doesn't need to be first party, just something that was on a Sega system. I say this because Sega's been having a comeback with a lot of their old games. Like we were saying, Shinobi's coming back. We know Jet Set's coming back. We know Crazy Taxi's coming back. But what's a game on a Sega system? Like I said, doesn't have to be first party, that needs to come over, that people need to play, that you desperately want.
Gene's ready.
I'm ready. Phantasy Star.
Which Phantasy Star are you talking? Which one?
Any of them. Anything, but just Phantasy Star vibes, Phantasy Star Online, Phantasy Star, the regular series. It's part of why I like Xenoblade Chronicles so much, because it is a fantasy game that doesn't shy away from lightsabers and lasers and guns and all this stuff. Xenoblade Chronicles X feels like a single player Final Fantasy Star Online game. it even has like a whole ass lightsaber class and like assault rifles and pistols and everything like that. So yeah, Fantasy Star. Just bring that back. I know that's very niche, but I love Fantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast. That was one of my first games that I played online outside of like the OG Xbox Mech Assault, and Crimson Skies, like those online games. But there you go. There you
go. Okay.
Yep.
Love it.
I got it on GameCube too. Brad is holding up the GameCube version. I also got it on the GameCube too. It was definitely one of the first games I went online with. And
it's so funny because now my age is showing it. It's like I see the generational gap with Fantasy Star. And like for me, Fantasy Star is like the Master System, and then Fantasy Star 2 through 4, those are like my first JRPGs. I played before it went into the online thing, and I'm like I'm torn because the online game is great. Don't get me wrong, it's amazing, and but I love all those classic ones, and it seems like they don't want to bring those back at all.
Bring back classics too. Yeah, I love that too. I would love that too.
Man. I loved it because the first one was such a departure. It was the female protagonist for Alice, first person, but then Fantasy Star 2 was game changing for me. Oh my god, that game was amazing! And then Nay and the Mother Brain and all that other stuff. Yeah, that was my introduction to JRPGs, and I think 3 was They introduced like a marriage system and stuff like that, a generational system. 4 was a return to form. So yeah, 2 and 4 were probably my favorite Fantasy Star games.
So Sega Genesis Classics has 2, 3, and 4 on that collection. That's awesome.
Yes. And people sleep on 1 as well. Like I said, the first one is really, really good.
Yeah. I missed the boat on like all those Fantasy Star games.
Yeah. I
was too busy with Final Fantasy too.
Oh my god, dude! Shining Force was huge for me too, man. And it's just had a lot of good JRPGs for sure.
Oh yeah.
Cog, what are you picking? What do you want to come back?
I wanted to come back Fantasy. He stole that one, so I was just saying. No, I mean, if I could, this is a deep cut. Most people don't play. Again, I'm going way back in it.
No, yeah, good.
It was a game called Zillion.
And,
I don't even know that one.
Zillion was based off like an animated I didn't even know about from way back in the day. This game was like side scroller, dungeon crawler. Yeah, music was amazing. You had 3 characters. It was literally based on an old school, Japan anime kind of game.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what this is, but it looks cool. And I remember it distinctly because it was like you had to go to these terminals and write down symbols and memorize symbols to get past certain layers of this dungeon base that you were going through. And few people played it. I know one person that did play as a developer I had on ILP is he made a game called Until the End. He knew exactly what I was talking about. It's a deep cut, but it was so good. They made a sequel to it, which was a crazy departure. They turned it into like this fast-paced kind of action game that looked better, but it was never as good as the original Zillion. So Zillion, so good.
Yeah. Great pick, man. For me, I have one right away, which is I would like to see Knights come back in some way. I know they brought it back on the Wii, but I would kind of like to see how they would do like a fully 3D Knights now. I remember back in the day, the Sega Saturn was heavily advertising Knights, like him on that tower in Tokyo and all that stuff. I was like, damn, this game looks sick. Huge game. It seemed like a moment in time, but Knights kind of just fell to the wayside. Hasn't really emerged at all. So I would like to see Knights come back, or not desperately, but it'd be really cool to see it.
Yeah. One of the innovators of the analog stick movement before Mario 64. Mario 64. Mario 64 just did it way better.
Yeah, way better. Way better.
They did it way better.
Way better.
but Knights was on the front lines. They tried.
You're right.
Yeah, and that was innovative too. That was a dope game. I love that game.
Yeah. And one other game I would like to see come back is this game called Clockwork Knight.
Oh, it was like dude. Sega Saturn Classic. Yes.
I would like, there's 2 of them. I'd like to see them come back in some way.
Yeah. Oh man. Sega was so bomb.
Yeah. Yeah. Good shit. All right, well, Sega, you've been doing good work bringing back some classics, but you got more work to do. Mm-hmm. We're not going to ease up on you. All right. Gene, Lies of P Overture. I played some of this. You've been playing it as well, though. Let's start with you.
Yeah. Lies of P Overture is, I think, I beat it around 20 hours, 15 to 20 hours.
Okay.
Incredibly good and incredibly hard DLC.
Yeah.
But the great thing, though, is that the update comes with normal mode and easy mode.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out the default difficulty mode for Lies of P is hard. And you can drop it down 2 levels down to easy. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I tested that out real quick just to see, just so I can show, you know, tell people whether this is a good game to recommend for someone like Colin who doesn't really want to, you know, like engage with, you know, too much stress of Souls games, which I totally understand. I get it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I get it.
Sometimes you're just not in the mood for it. And Colin's never in the mood for it. I totally get that. So I can confirm that playing it on easy, it is very, very accessible. You can just go up to a boss and you can just trade blows with them. You can block them. You should be blocking. You should be dodging. But as long as you're actually playing the game and you're actually hitting the bosses, no problem. Pretty easy. Easy. It just becomes a normal action game where you're just hitting things and. But it's a difficulty that really sets Lies of P apart, even from FromSoft games. I think it's actually kind of harder than
in some ways, I'd say so. Like, I was playing the DLC and I'm getting hit one time and I'm like, dude, almost dead. Like,
are you in New Game Plus? Are you in New Game Plus for the DLC? No, not even. Right? See, yeah, that's what I didn't do. So I actually was somehow smart enough. I didn't plan it this way, but I actually had a New Game Plus save. Mm-hmm. Or I'm actually at New Game Plus 5. So that is the maximum. I think the game stops getting more difficult after 4 runs, New Game Plus 4.
Okay.
I'm actually on New Game Plus 5. So I wanted to get to the peak of difficulty for this game, right? But I want to have another save where I'm just at the base difficulty, you know? I sometimes I don't want to be, you know, hitting these tanks all day. So I just have a regular run. And I played the game in a regular run because actually in my New Game Plus run, I'm actually halfway through the game. Mm-hmm. Only way you can start Overture is if you are on Chapter 9 or beyond. Gotcha. And Lies of P veterans will know and who know the maps well will know where the DLC is located. It was a secret little spot, not even a secret spot. It was just an inconspicuous little spot.
Yeah, it was very suspect.
Yeah, very suspect, and you're like, and everyone looked at that, and it's like, oh, this is clearly DLC, and then sure enough, it totally was. But you enter, and the great thing about Lies of P that makes me recommend it over even FromSoft games is that it is a regular ass storyline. It is a story where your main character is a character in the world. The enemies are reacting to you as a character. You have the P or Pinocchio or the main character has a relationship with almost every single boss in the game. So there's always cutscenes. There's dialogue while you're fighting. The drama of the fight is escalating as you're fighting. And as they realize who you are, oh my god, it's motherfucking Pinocchio! You know, it's cool stuff. Lies of P Overture extends that story, and I think the story is really, really good. You know, you haven't finished it yet, Brad, have you?
No. I've only killed 2 of the main bosses, I think, so far.
Did you fight that first boss though, with the lady boss?
Yeah.
I love that boss.
Yeah, that was cool.
To me, that is easily a top 5 Souls boss of all time, I think.
Wow. Damn.
One of my favorite things about Lies of P, even in the base game, is that it has the best gank fights in the Souls genre. Other than like Ornstein and Smo and like maybe like the Abyssal Warriors and Dark Souls 3 or whatever like that. I think Lies of P has the best ones. The Black Rabbit Brotherhood in the base game.
I hate that fight. I know a lot of people like it, but I hate those fights.
I love that fight. I love that fight. 4v1, and then it's basically like a tag fight. It's basically like a Marvel versus Capcom fight where you're fighting one guy, but then they'll tag in one other person, and then the other guy is slow and lumbering, and it takes a while to get to you. Again, like a little bit of the Ornstein and Smo dynamic. You know, one guy's slower, so you can kind of kite him as you're focusing on the faster one. or maybe you can just take out the slower heavy hitter first. But this one, the Black Rabbit Brotherhood, the big guy was the boss, and the tag fighters are just part of the ads or whatever like that. But it just felt so well balanced. And this new one, I guess I don't want to spoil it for folks, especially since our audience is so sensitive to spoilers. But it is a 2v1 fight, and it is very, very innovative. When you look at the design of the boss, there are colors differentiating where the actual part of the UI of the boss will actually change color depending on who is attacking, and who is defending. Really, really cool stuff. The music was cool, the staging was cool, and again, this is a character that knows who you are and is talking the whole time. That's the kind of drama that you just don't see in like a game like Elden Ring, which the guy's like, "Oh, tarnish," and then you just fight. And it's like, it's an awesome fight. It'll be one of the best fights you ever have. But there's no real attachment for the player other than you're the tarnish and you're trying to become the Elden Ring guy.
Yeah, it's more like Sekiro in that sense.
You are. Yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit like close to like Sekiro. For me, one of my criticisms of Lies of P Overture is that the level design is not the best, and I think they got better than the base game. But there's still some moments where I'm like, this is a really repetitive and confusing area.
Yeah.
And it's not like fun, in a confusing way. It's just like, oh, here's just a lot of rooms and you're just kind of running around in a circle and it's not that interesting. It's basically a sewer level, dude. Like, that's not a spoiler, but there's a sewer level that just kind of sucks. And it's like a sewer basement level. Cool hidden boss. There's a cool hidden boss there that I actually never found. So I actually want to go back and try to fight that. But that's probably my biggest criticism, other than nothing really. I thought it was really high quality DLC. My favorite thing about the DLC is the weapons. The gunblade is not a spoiler because this is on the cover of Lies of P Overture.
It's not a spoiler.
So get over it, guys. The gunblade is a fantastic weapon, one of my favorite weapons in Souls-likes, period. And I won't spoil it, but the final weapon you get in DLC is even stronger. So strong, and I hope they don't nerf it because it should just be a nice little reward for you to use. But that's why I like the gunblade, because it's not as strong, but it's also hecka strong, super strong. It hits really hard. The moveset is awesome, where the heavy, you do a stab and you fire the gun.
Yeah,
and then the shooting off the gunblade will do a knockback for the character, and the P will just like swing the sword back, and then like swing it forward again for a heavier hit as you move forward. It's so good, really, really excellent moveset. That's about all I can really say about it. Sure. Otherwise, I don't want to spoil too much. But
no. I mean, I'll talk about a little bit about the beginning of it. The first couple hours, I've played like maybe 3 hours, I want to say, or something like that. A little more. You're
still at the Krot Zoo area, right?
Yeah, I did the zoo. The first area you go to is the zoo, and it's kind of cool going around, seeing all the animals fucked up and stuff like that. The very, very first boss is like a crocodile or something like that.
Dude. I hated that boss.
I was like, it's okay. I'm like, whatever. It's not that. It wasn't until like the next boss we were talking about where I was like, oh, okay. Now we're ramping it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's fine. Serious. Not every boss can be incredible. I mean, from software,
the elephant monstrosity, the mini boss.
That guy was intense. Yeah,
that guy was a wall for a little bit. I was like, oh, this is an elephant. Oh, it's a zebra, giraffe, elephant. Holy crap!
Yeah.
This is horrifying to look at.
Yeah,
really
that was like some
design.
That was some From Software shit right there. Yeah, like some amalgamation creature fused together. Yeah, it was very intense.
Yeah.
So I did that, and like it's all taking place like right now in, I don't know. They've said this earlier, but it's in Krot. Like in the past, they say that right at the beginning of the thing. So they've talked about it before it even came out. But anyways, you're going through this area. It's all snow, which is cool. It's a different change of pace or environment. It's all snowy. Get some new outfits, which I appreciated right there. Lies of P has lots of fun outfits, so I'm happy about that. The level design, like you're saying, is okay. It feels very restrictive, I guess. It feels like very old school, like older From Software games where you can't jump or anything like that.
For sure. Yeah.
I'm like, there's like parts where I'm like, you just step over that. Just step over. Like it's like for old From Software games are like that, but they've kind of evolved now where you can jump over stuff and more freedom and movement. Like I've been playing Night Rain. I just finished it recently, and it's like I'm used to just like zooming, jumping all over the place now. So that's probably why it's in my head. But the environments themselves are really cool. There's like a carnival very early on as well, and there's like some fun mini game stuff you could do in there, like shooting down it's like a shooting gallery kind of thing. It's funny because one of the first weapon I got was like a bow, which I thought was interesting. I'm not the right spec for it, but like I was shooting down the little clowns with the bow actually and got little rewards for it. So that was fun. Yeah, you get like these tokens you could put into like little games and stuff like that and get some items from them, which is cool.
Yeah, the bow is cool. I completely forgot about the bow, but it's pretty awesome. And a little bit of Iron Eye from Elden Ring Night Rain in our Liza P now, you know?
Yeah. But so far from what I've played, it's been great. I'm very happy with it. It's nice to hear that it's like 20 hours or something like that. I imagine it would be. Because I think this was $30, and I have no problem paying for that, especially if the quality is as good as it has been. So
20 hours is half the game of the base game. You know,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so far it's been really good. I'm excited to see what other weapons I get. I haven't really gone back. Like I'm not the right spec for a gunblade or anything like that. So I have another character I'll probably do it on. But so far, man,
no motivity.
No, I'm all on this character I'm playing right now. He's all like the magic stuff, like debuffs.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, I have 3 characters. They're all different specs. So, but just this one I was using is that. But I definitely want to use a strength character next and go through it. But so far, so good. I like Liza P a lot, and I think it's really good. I just think I don't like the end of the game, I should say, like the last section you go through. Just for the base game. I'm not a big fan of that area. And I think it goes on too long.
It went on for way too long. The very last level, I'm just like, oh my God, how many more floors of this fucking tower?
I think it drags.
Is there? It drags on. It could have been like two or 3 sections shorter, I think, and it would have been just just about perfect, I think, you know?
Yeah.
But it ran on for like 2-3 bonfires, like way too long. Yeah. But almost got it right, but yeah,
almost.
I totally agree with you. It was so long.
Yeah, Liza P's probably like I'm trying to think like one of, if not the best Souls-like I can think of. That's not From Software.
Yeah,
it's a very good game. Absolutely worth your time. Is it on Game Pass still, Cog? I know it was for a long time.
For a while, I'm not sure. That's a good question. If it still is,
it might not be there anymore because
it might not be now.
It's a couple years old now, but it was. So it's a great game. Highly recommend checking out. The city it takes place in Krat. Very fascinating, very cool vibe, like that French Bloodborne-esque kind of area, a bunch of robots going around. Cool stuff. Challenging game, but there are difficulties now. So if you're worried about that, like Gene was saying, hop right in. Might be a decent place to start if you're new to Souls-like games and you're a little intimidated by the difficulty. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one Matty recommended to me. And he was like, God, just at least try to get through the prologue, whatever. And I have to admit, I really liked it. And I felt it had a nice polish to it. Weapons, it was really cool.
It's very polished.
And then again, kind of what Gene said, like the narrative, like the fact, I'm like, oh, this is Pinocchio. This is kind of dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to see where they're going. So I was just curious because I know Matty really raved about the base game. And waiting was super pumped when, they announced this. So I guess for you guys was like, more so for Gene, as spoiler free as you can. Did you feel like they landed the plane narratively?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Totally. I thought the story was great. It was a reminder again why I really liked the Liza P story, why I liked the characters. There were so many things about the base game I actually forgot about. And the DLC actually, is kind of completing the base game story, filling a lot of backstory. Again, not a spoiler. You go back to the past, for this. So, you're exploring how Krot came to be and how certain characters came to be. A lot of great surprises, actually, I think. And if I would actually recommend, because I went into this DLC like not remembering anything about the story. So like when certain names came up, I was like, wait, why does his name keep coming up? And I looked it back up. I was like, oh, it's that guy. That guy was huge in the base game, So stuff like that. So I like all the way up until the ending, to the final fight. excellent, really, really well told story. It even moved me a little bit too. So really, really good stuff. Liza P is also really important to LSM lore, right?
Yeah.
Right, Brad?
Yeah. Let me read this question right here from Tao Tanzua.
Oh,
I have a confession. I was one of the people who really believed that the final boss of Liza P was Walt Disney. But in my defense, apparently it was easier to see that it was a joke from the video than the audio. But I have one more confession that was worse. When you said that Miyazaki was inspired by the game Eco, for some reason I thought you meant Echo the Dolphin at first. This is the danger of listening at 200% speed, I guess. All right, guys, calm down.
No, man.
200%. I know that's a joke, but good Lord, I know people do speed up.
Yeah. Also, what I meant to say that was important to the lore is that it's the reason why you're here in the network, Brad. Right?
Liza P?
Yeah. Because you brought Dustin onto Easy Allies to talk about Liza P, right?
Oh, was that? Yeah, I guess it was playing Liza P.
Yeah.
It was after the game had been out, I think, for a little bit.
Yeah. So
you're right.
He came on to gush about the game, and that's
you know the lore better than I do.
Yeah. See, that kickstarted the whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's how the blowjob brother started.
That's how,
that's the genesis of it.
The BBs. Yeah, that's how it started. Blowjob brothers. Yeah.
BJ.
Good shit. But yeah, I can't, dude. The idea that people got really upset about Walt Disney is so funny to me. For Liza P. That's awesome.
People was really going in on that theory? Like that. Wow.
Yeah, some people left the Patreon about it.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Yeah. The joke,
okay.
I'm telling you, man. Like some people are just like looking for reasons to get mad about spoilers when something is not a spoiler. It's really weird. Really, really strange.
Yeah.
Game length, you know.
Dude, we should just start making like fake spoilers up, like Bill Clinton showing up at the end of Stellar Blade or something that.
Like NBA Jam, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Eve. Yeah, he's into Eve. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's a Hillary Clinton hologram, you know.
Yeah. Robotic Bill Clinton.
And you're like, oh my god, all the Eves are based off Hillary Clinton, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoilers. Why would the Koreans do that?
Why would the Koreans do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 Korean games you've been playing on here we'll get into, But first, The Altars, Cog, you've been playing this. I've been hearing good things about this.
What the hell is this game?
Locke was talking to me about this game. He said it's great.
Break it down for me. I don't know anything about this game, but I keep hearing about it. I keep seeing pictures, but I don't know what this is. So explain to me well, I literally don't know anything, but I'm excited to learn more about this.
The Altars, man. It is. I have my eye on this for a while. They showed it like an Xbox partner showcase game. And I'm like, all right, indie. It had like an XCOM-y look to it. So I didn't know what it was. But the thing that separated it apart was that you can make copies or alternate versions of yourself. And I was like, well, how does this work? So anyway, you get to the game. So pretty much it starts off, you have crash landed, you and your team have crash landed on this planet. And we find out that everyone has not survived, minus you. The game kind of gives a Death Stranding on the planet vibe. And you walk around, the way you walk around and you're looking for resources, you're looking for information and stuff like that. And the engine's pretty good. It's 11-bit studios. I would say it's probably double A at energy, but they're punching above their weight. The engine really looks good when you go on the surface of planets and stuff like that. Now, what happens when you get to the base, that's when the nefariousness of the story starts to happen. And you realize, okay, in order to survive, there's this element. It's called rapidium. And that allows you to make copies. But you don't even know you can do this. This corporation that you are working for is trying to instruct you to, what the next steps you need to do. So the cool thing about it, where the game is really cool, is you have, again, the planet exploration aspect on the planet. You're looking for resources, you're finding stuff. Also, now, as far as the base itself, that's where it's a day and night cycle. And you have, like, say, for example, like from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., is when you can do things. Now, if you go past that time period, your character can get tired, can get exhausted. If you overwork your character, you can pass out. You can, do that kind of stuff. So you got that. Then I will say the art style of the game is really, really good. It's very sci-fi, modern, slick, and the character's name is Jan Dolsky. So this is where the game really takes off from a basic. It's like Death Stranding, Fallout Shelter, and I want to say a little Mass Effect had a baby.
Wow.
Right now, the only negative, if you are looking for gunplay, shooting, action, this is not that game. This is about survival. This is about dealing with crazy versions of yourself and how you're going to get through this. So this is how it works. So pretty much you make your first character, your first alter. But what happens is this company has been documenting your entire life. So they'd be like, okay, this was Brad at 15. He did this. He went to school. He stayed home, and his mom got sick and, you stayed home and you took care of her or whatever. That's one timeline of your life. And they have it at all these different ages. And it's very well written, like great storyboard, great pictures, great imagery of all these major points in your life. And they're usually at like 10 age intervals. It's a lot. So pretty much, and then the end of it is like, hey, you sign up for this Project Dolly thing, and that's where you are. So what happens when you get the element, the Rapidium, now the game goes, okay, well, at this stage of your life, you could have been a scientist, or at that stage of your life, you could have been an engineer. And they tell you the choices. Hey, your dad was a drunk. He used to beat your mom, but this time you stood up to your dad. And because of that, you became an engineer. So what happens is you pick an alter. They're kind of predetermined. Not like you can just pick at any point. They're kind of predetermined, and then you pick them. And when they basically, it's like a Terminator thing where they kind of wake up in the womb and they're not naked. They're fully clothed. That's the only thing that's kind of corny. Like they're fully clothed with, scientists or whatever it is they are. But what it is now, you're trying to get them up to speed. Like, hey, the guy, your alter like freaking out. Like, hey, wait a minute, we look like each other. What's going on? Like, so some of them don't handle it well.
Oh,
some of them are violent. Some of them, like, it is some of the wildest situations. Let me give you an example how crazy it is to you. So in my timeline of John Dolsky, he has a bad relationship with his ex, right? She finds out you're on the planet, she calls in or whatever. And, you try to work with her. I made a botanist version of myself who has a great relationship. So what ends up happening is you try to get past the story at a certain part of the game. Again, a lot of it is resource getting, I would say, like metals and
it's like a crafting survival kind of thing.
Yeah. Now that part of it, I will say, it looks cool as hell. The problem is sometimes the scanning and trying to set up these scan things are a little clunky. You know what I'm saying? But when you set it up and you basically rope things, kind of daisy chain them back to your base, that's how you can continue to get resources pumped into your base. Okay. Anyway, long story short. So you get the character, and this was the funniest thing. And he's like, look, man, what went wrong with your relationship? Because of my relationship, we're really good. Maybe I should speak to her. So you have this, I want to say like a cuck-like moment where you let this dude, he's finessing, your version of the girl, and he's talking to her, and it's hilarious. So you got that. There's my favorite is actually the scientist. He's very pragmatic. He's very like, hey, we've got to work long hours. We're stuck on this planet. We have to get through this thing. And I advise, making the workload, double day hours and stuff like that. And it's hilarious. I would say this game is very tension based, very time based. The way it's structured, you cannot do everything in the course of a day. And there are more where things break down, electrical storms, stuff like that. So I highly recommend people try this game. It is one of the most unique games I've ever played. It's very different than anything. It provides a different level of tension that I've seen. And the base building is really amazing. Like it's simple. It's not like, you build an infirmary, you build a kitchen. Like when I first started, one of the alters came to me like, look, bro, everything's cool with you, but I'm sleeping on the floor. Like, you got a bed, bro. Like, if you and their temperament and the things that's going on, they could kill you in your sleep if they're not happy.
Oh,
this game gets dark, violent. So all I would say is, I've had about 30 hours of this game, and I've done 3 replays. I haven't finished it yet, but there's so much that you cannot see based on who you create, who you don't create, that I want to see more of it. And I want kind of like the better version of a playthrough. So I'm on like my third playthrough, even though I didn't technically finish it yet. But I'm having so much fun, and it's super, super addicting.
Cool. So this aspect, I guess, of like these alternate versions yourself, you're saying like sometimes they're violent when they come through and stuff like that. How do you deal with that?
All right. So basically, one guy was he was like, "Yo, man, I was a minor, and I'm gonna need a little fix to get through the day. So you gotta decide whether or not you're gonna get this man. You're gonna hook him up with the Drizugs.
Yeah.
Now, if things go left with one of my playthroughs, apparently in his life he had an amputated arm. So
wow.
in my playthrough, he's like, "Yo, I got he's fully healed. But he's freaking out. He's like, this doesn't feel right. And then if you don't, you're caught in a bad place. If you give him drugs." He will do his jobs ineffectively. He'll work for you. You'll put him out to mine. You'll put him out to do things in the base, but he'll have an accident. He'll do stuff like again. But if you don't, what happened when I was like, all right, bro, I'm not giving you anything. You're doing too much. You no more. And he started freaking out. And you see their temperament. You could always check the altar's temperament all during the game. So one time I came back to the base and he attacked all the other altars. And then he also cut his own arm off. And I'm like, yo, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And then like I had to build an infirmary. It's just a series of crazy events. And what I like about the game is no playthrough is kind of the same. Everyone has these different kind of things that's going on. But you guys be quick. It's just such a very unique and weird game. And I'm just thoroughly addicted.
Yeah. What if you have like a version of yourself, whatever you don't want anymore? Can you send them away? Can you kill them?
So pretty much how it works is in the beginning, they allow you to have about 3. And then you have to find this device that allows you to upgrade the supercomputer that makes the rubidium, that makes the altars process. So you basically could pick any form of the 3. I think there's like, if I had to guess, I think there's about 9 to 12 in total variants of yourself. But in the beginning, so depending on what you pick and how you interact, your gameplay is going to be different. So that's a limit. Then as you upgrade the base and as you go further in the story, you get a little bit more. Now, some are locked behind like you have to have base level 3 or whatever in this chip in the computer before you can get the doctor, you know what I'm saying, so to speak, because that kind of thing. So they do kind of lock you off to some of them and your access only few in the beginning.
Okay, gotcha. I guess so. You're talking about you're kind of exploring this planet. You're saying like Death Stranding-esque and stuff like that. Is the main hook of the game, I guess, just kind of like managing the base with your altars and like going out to explore? It doesn't seem like you do a whole lot. You're saying like you set up a couple things, but that's not really the main entertainment of the game. Is
you know what's funny? My excitement with the exploration on the outside actually is just this tension. I would say inside the base definitely more fun for sure, but outside there's a lot of mystery because there's a lot of gaseous elements. There's biological hazards, things that nature. So sometimes you have to craft this thing so you could walk through anomalies, and these things can hurt you and kill you. In that sense, it feels Death Stranding like when you go through those dark areas of Death Stranding where you're not supposed to step and stuff like that.
Right.
So it has a little bit of that, but yeah, there's no like aliens and, enemies per se, but the tension becomes, I'm gonna tell you where the tension of the outside hits. You cannot stay out 24 hours on any surface of these planets. After about, let's say 10 p.m., what will happen is a radiation storm will happen.
Oh.
So if you're too far out and you haven't built any fast travel little modules or hubs or things like that, you can really get caught out there. And what has happened to me is I've over-radiated, passed out, and one of my altars have to come and save me and bring me back to base. I've had that happen to me before.
Damn. So they saved you automatically. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's like it's a tension that is really cool on how you connect and try to aggregate as much as you can from the planet. But at the same time, there's an active story where, hey, the base is constantly have to move. Basically, the base has to constantly move. Your enemy is the sun. The base cannot stay stagnant. So you keep moving to different areas. And then that's your little push-pull. And the way the game is set up is you cannot do everything. you have to make certain choices. So that's pretty much how it is.
Cool.
And, yeah, very, very unique game.
I'm sold. It looks super good, super interesting. I'll check it out when I have time. Yeah,
I'm dying to get you guys' opinion. It's a weird cog game, but I can't stop playing. I'm thoroughly addicted.
It looks really, really cool. This is a very, very unique concept. I'm sold immediately.
This is on Game Pass, right?
Yes.
You said? Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so pretty easy to
Game
check
Pass
out.
is doing good, man. I just unsubscribed again, but now I got to subscribe for that probably again, you know?
Yeah,
and also I didn't get to play South of Midnight before my subscription went up, so I should.
Don't worry about it. You can unsub and get your full. Get all your
That's
money
right.
back
Yeah,
very easily.
I should do Dustin.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Very nice, Cog.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, Gene. Stellar Blade. You've been playing, I assume, the PC version that just came out.
Yes. Weirdly nostalgic for this game. That's only a year old, but when I heard the music,
I was like, it's not that old.
I know. When I heard the music, I was like, oh man, last year though. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
because like things are only getting worse every day, you know. So it's like, oh man, remember last year? Last year was so good, you know, even though it wasn't that good. But so I'm playing the PC version. I'm not that far into it. I just got to the first open world area, the wasteland or whatever, or the desert or whatever. So I'm just kind of getting my feet wet again. I did unlock the Nier outfits for Eve. So all the Nier updates and everything like that are just included in Stellar Blade already. The PC version. Beautiful PC port. Oh my god. Runs decent on my shitty laptop. Runs really good on Steam Deck. Actually, I can get like 45 FPS or more than that too if I wanted to. You know, if I lower the resolution, that's the beauty of the Steam Deck. You know, I just saw a article by Eurogamer saying, "Oh, the Switch 2's battery is a bummer," and I'm seeing Nintendo heads, you know, say, "Why are you only picking on a Switch 2?" And it's like, you know, first of all, the article does mention the Steam Deck's short battery life, but you know, as I mentioned before on Punching Up, you know, the Steam Deck is great because you can just extend the battery life by lowering resolutions, you know, limiting the frame rate if that's okay. You know, I'm totally okay with playing Stellar Blade at 30 FPS, no problem. I know it's very timing based. That's a skill issue for you guys, man. If you can't parry at 30 frames per second, that's your problem, not mine. You know, I understand that it's much easier in 60 FPS, but it's a skill issue if you can't parry at 30 FPS too. You know, you can do that. You've been doing that for that for the last 10 years. It's possible. But it you know, people always talk about how no one ever talks about the gameplay of Stellar Blade.
What? Who said that?
Who said that?
But well, I mean, like you go to the subreddit, and there's like you have to scroll quite a bit to find like actual clips of gameplay.
Of
it, are you implying that focuses on something else other than the game?
Yeah. I mean, we gassed up that gameplay hard last year.
We sure did, and I'll gas it up again right now. Hard, right? Yeah, so hard.
Hard.
But I'll gas it up again right now. You know, you were talking earlier just about how there's no jumping in Lies of P, and there is jumping in Stellar Blade. You can even have a double jump. And the great thing about the PC version is that there is a platform like difficulty mode where you know the platforming is pretty jank in Stellar Blade. So if you switch it on, Eve will just magnetically latch onto platforms that she's nearby. Like, so you don't have to worry too much about falling over and over again, which is a real pain in the ass in the original game. The platforming sucked ass, as it does in Expedition 33 too. All these games that are just trying to do platforming for no reason. Why? You know? And the interesting thing on my Stellar Blade is that it doesn't do a whole lot with its jumping mechanic. There are some jump moves, and they're cool, and I love using them. And they definitely add some variety, but there's no juggling. This game is not quite Devil May Cry or even God of War in that regard. You know I compared it earlier, but it is that's more combo, like you said, the combo focus of the game, as opposed to swing, defend. You know, there are actual moves there, but I kind of like the groundedness of Stellar Blades. You know, it feels like a very arcadey action game where it's like the limit. You have to work around the limit. You know, you have to dodge, you have to parry, you have to. There's so many different ways to dodge. I already forget what the dodge names are, but like the blue and pink attacks where you can press up and B or back and B to do like different flips and like parries and slashes. it also feels very like rubber bandy and good. You know, it feels so elastic. Like you're just like swinging this girl around. You know, and she's just like doing so much like cool damage. The game is very violent too.
Yep.
You know, I love how brutal she is. You know, again, a little bit like God of War. God of War, there's going to be some stylish finishers, and Eve does that too. I'm excited to get to toward the end of the game, because that's when like, so playing the beginning of the game did remind me why like I was like initially going to grade Stellar Blade like a 2 stars out of 4 or whatever. I eventually gave it 3 stars out of 4 because first part of the game is not that great. You know, a lot of that platforming, as I mentioned, the level design is not that good. The story sucks. You know? The story sucks, and it's really funny that Kim Hyung-tae, the director and CEO of Shift Up, the developer, recently came out and says, "Yeah, the story wasn't that good." And I was like, "Oh, he knows it too," you know. Just so funny, because PlayStation, you know, and I watched it again last night. PlayStation had this whole like behind the scenes documentary style thing to like hype up like the original PlayStation release of Stellar Blade, and then they have Kim Hyung-tae like walking around Seoul and like being in the back of a car looking out the window, you know, like he's
Noctis,
like he's Noctis from like he's not Noctis / Tetsuya Nomura, you know. Oh man, and he's like thinking about like, oh, what if humanity is replaced by robots, you know? And like the PlayStation music is like ding 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 ding. They're trying to center him as like this like brilliant like Kojima like creator, you know.
Yeah.
And shout out to centering creators, right? That's awesome. Like that, I think that's the whole like shit like that is the reason why people even know who Kim Hyung-tae is, because you know they elevated him to this level. But it's really funny to hear him say like, oh yeah, you know, what if AI replaced humans? You know, what if AI replaced me? You know, what does that mean? And then the other developers are like, yeah, this game is about humanity, and it's like they're trying to make it sound deep, and it's like, guys,
no, yeah, that's like the weakest aspect of the game, or one of the weakest.
Absolutely.
Clearly, he wanted to be like Nier, inspired by Nier and stuff like that. It's just not even close. Yeah. From a narrative perspective, not even close.
It's just baby's first Nier, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't think it's a spoiler to say. It's not even a spoiler. Like Eve is a robot, you know. Like they pretty much say that at the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
So, and then they deal with that. But the story sucks. The story sucks, played out flat out. But it does kind of get cooler at the end, though. Like the fights gets cooler. The scenario, like the set pieces get cooler. The stakes get a little bit risen. You know, people actually start getting passionate about things. You know, the dialogue at the beginning of the game is so bad, though. I got reminded like that fucking guy Adam. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like.
Yeah,
like this like Korean pretty boy, like K-pop star boy, and he's like, and like he starts the game with Eve is like saying something like it's first of all it's so stupid that Eve has a British accent. Like why can't she just sound like a regular girl and not British or whatever? I don't understand, you know. But then like Eve says something, and then Adam says typical Eve, and it's like Adam, we just met like 2 hours ago. What do you mean? What do you mean typical Eve? You haven't earned the right to say typical Eve, you know?
Yeah.
That fucking little girl Lily like shows up, and like she's like spouting all kinds of fucking nonsense or whatever like that. And then you go see the old man in the town, and he's like saying all this other bullshit, and like, you know, the characters like barely even like talk. Like, dude, have you guys seen The Room by Tommy Wiseau?
Of course,
yeah. Brad, you're at LA, you know. Cog, have you seen it?
I have not. You gotta bring it down.
Oh yeah, well, this is famously the funniest, worst movie of all time.
Yeah,
oh damn,
it sucks.
Yeah, awful movie. The dialogue is like you know yeah, you know, I think my wife is or the bank is doing all this and that. Anyways, how is your sex life? Just random shit.
Yeah,
mad random.
Yeah, just the dialogue is completely random. Like this guy does not know how to speak English, right? That's what Stellar Blade is, basically. Like you meet the info dealer, and the first thing she says to the info dealer is, "You don't seem very likable." And then the info dealer says, "That's my Eve. That's why I love you." I'm like, and then she even says at the end, Brad, she literally says, "This is why you're my favorite customer." Yeah. That's a line from The Room, bro.
Yeah,
that's a line from The Room. Yeah. So when I'm listening to the story, I'm just like, oh my fucking god!
It's not good. It's not.
I actually want to die. Also,
like
the funny thing about the the info dealer is that was the site of the hard R.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Is that still in the game?
It's not in the game. It just says R shop. But before there was a graffiti that had hard.
Yeah,
right next to the
say that you mentioned this.
Yeah. So it says hard R shop, and it's like, oh my god. And then people actually thought that was them trying to make a joke, and it's like I don't think I don't think they would do that, guys. But yeah, that's Stellar Blade so far. Really great game. If you're on the fence about PC,
really good game.
I can't recommend it enough. Sold 3 million copies. That's breaking news.
Very nice to see, dude.
3 million copies total. So it's like, wow, it really did sell. Stellar Blade really did sell 1 million copies, and then no one else bought it. Which is interesting. And then like the rest is just like all PC sales, which is like way more than the PS5 sales, which is interesting.
I'm sure it's very big in like Asia and stuff like that.
As analysts were saying, a lot of it was from China,
sure,
which is great,
sure.
And I'm glad to see that the game get a bigger audience. That really that makes me sad that the game only got 1 million sales on PS5, and I bet Kim Hyung-tae is like, why did I get into this exclusive thing with Sony?
Because they funded it. Help fund it.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know. It didn't really do much. Probably the same issue.
Well, it gave it a lot of marketing. I'll say that.
But the marketing didn't work though. It only sold 1 million.
But that's probably a big success for that game for how much it probably cost to make.
Yeah. Also, it was made on Unreal 4, so lower tech, probably cheaper.
Cheaper.
I mean, it did well enough before the PC port came out.
It sure did.
So the sequel's coming out, so we should get that in like a year, probably like 2 years. I'm gonna guess from now. But there's been like a ton of DLC for that game. Also, Gene, you're saying they did the Nier stuff. There's been a lot of Nikke stuff, of course.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah, there's a new robot in the town.
There's a couple of new boss fights, I think, that they put in the game as well.
Yeah, there's new robot telling me about Nikke stuff. I'm just like, oh my god, I don't even have the brain capacity to like worry about this right now. I actually just want to play Stellar Blade. I don't know if I want the Nikke outfits. I'm not. I love Nikke. The game's cool. I think it's very creative, despite all the jiggly titties and ass or whatever like that. But I kind of don't like the outfits. Like I actually don't like the more scantily clad like outfits in Stellar Blade. I think she looks way better like filled up with clothes.
Filled up with clothes.
I want to fill her up with clothes, So that's why like my favorite outfit in Stellar Blade is like her with like the black, like the red top with the black leather pants, like like the sleeves are all filled up and everything too. So it's also funny to see Kim Hyung-tae say, yeah, the modders are interesting, but none of them are really at the quality of the actual base game. And so he's like challenging the modders, like, step it up, guys, step it up.
Yeah, I like it. That's good shit.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. So shout out to him. I want to be clear. I'm not really making fun of him.
Right.
I think that like PlayStation try to market something and they work with what they got. I think he's clearly talented. I think he's very passionate. I think he's an interesting and cool guy who knows how to like engage the fan base. I think and that's refreshing to see, and it's nice to see. What's
good about Stellar Blade, Genie, is it was really solid, and I think there's a lot of room for improvement, though, like you're saying, like narrative and stuff like that. So hopefully their next game, we'll see a lot more of that, because that'd be good.
Yeah. I wonder if it's going to be PlayStation exclusive, though, this time.
I don't know. Hard to say. If it is, I imagine it'll be like a year, like it was before.
Maybe day and date, too.
Maybe day and date, whatever.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, just make that money back right away, Because like PlayStation is marketing the PC version quite a bit, too.
Yeah, I think they published it actually.
They did publish it. They sure published it, and like I'm seeing a lot of like YouTube videos and a lot of other other like accolades videos and everything like that. So they're putting some marketing muscle behind it. So they want to make sure that Kim Hyung-tae gets his money's worth.
Of course, yeah. And I think it's smart. Yeah, if you're going to do exclusive, it doesn't need to be forever. I agree with that. So. It's nice to see. I wonder if it'll be on Xbox. Have you heard anything about that, Cog?
No, I haven't heard anything in reference to it. I think the only one I heard about was it Crimson
Crimson Desert?
They initially were approached by Sony in terms of an exclusive deal, and then they said, hey, we kind of like the idea of PC, Xbox, having that level of freedom. So I am starting to see a shift with a lot of developers wanting to kind of put things out there as far as taking the exclusive bag, like how they used to, because I think the multi-platform approach, people don't want to miss the zeitgeist anymore. They really want, at the launch. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, look at Final Fantasy 16. There's so much discourse about how little it sold on Xbox, and it's like, you want to talk about a game that hit its audience cap. That might have been it right there.
That might have been it. Yeah.
Might have been it. Like all 3.5 million people who wanted Final Fantasy 16 bought it, and that was it.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's crazy.
Was it 2 years? What did it come out? 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah. It came out in 2023. So,
I did my part. I've been playing.
Yeah, you've been playing. Did you play it on PS5 before, or is this your first time?
No, it's my second time.
Okay.
Halfway through, I bought 16. I was in love off the demo, off of Ben Starr's performance, or what happened at the end of the demo. I immediately hit purchase. I was like, oh, Joshua. Like, no, like we not doing this. Like, I was very emotional about that. But so I got halfway there. That's when I started to hear things. I'm like, is it? But back then I thought it was coming sooner.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh, it's gonna come, and then that became every summer. Yeah, they're talking to them. Yeah, it's gonna get done. Yeah, then until finally now it was 2 years later. So yeah, I picked it up, and now I'm actually just saying, you know what, clean playthrough. Let's start from the beginning. Sure. Let's go through. Let's get Torgal. Let's just do this thing up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I like it. I know a lot of the other thing too is I think a lot of Final Fantasy purists don't like it.
I like it.
I love it. Like, I think what it is tone wise, I like it. And the whole, it's like the nuclear warfare. Who got the dominant here? I like that whole energy of it. It's very Game of Thronesy. But for the turn-based guys, I think they don't like the combat. I think is where the issue is.
Sure.
That's part of what the Expedition 33 discourse is about, right? They're like, look at this. Yes. Why did you do this?
Yes.
Why?
Yes. Yep.
The worst thing about FF16, because I was super hyped about FF16, and I still love that game. I think it's a great game, right? But one thing that I learned about it is I was really excited that it was becoming a Devil May Cry, and after I played it, I was like, I don't think that was the best idea.
Yeah, that's what the hardcore kind of say.
Because there's a reason why Devil May Cry games are 10 hours long. That shit gets tiring. You don't want to play a game like that for fucking 70 hours. That shit does not work, And that's why, there's a discourse about, which I contributed to, about Expedition 33. It's like, should every turn-based game have a parry system?
Oh, I saw your comment. I agree with you.
And it's the thing is that, the parry system works in Expedition 33 because it's a shorter game. Imagine if you had to play Imagine if you had to play a fucking Persona game.
Wow.
And parry the whole time. 100-hour game, bro. No,
that's a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not. I would just skip Persona 6 altogether if that was the case. I won't play it.
Yeah,
sorry.
I know Hoag's fear is that everything becomes that because Expedition is the new rage. But I think turn-based would be safe. It's just one of these things.
Turn-based isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm with you, Brad.
I don't know why people have been dooming about this since the ATB gauge came in and Final Fantasy 12, stuff like that.
For sure.
I've been there. We're old enough to remember this shit.
Yep. This is the death of the turn-based, that damn ATB, that limit break. Look what they're doing to our baby. I'm like, bro.
Final Fantasy is not the only Japanese role-playing style games out there.
No.
I agree.
Let's see here. This is from Al Sharpton versus Sharp Alton. Hey, Gene. What changes would you like to see in Stellar Blade 2? For me, the two things they have locked are the art style / atmosphere, and the soundtrack. I listen to the OST occasionally and love it, especially Raven. The build up and drop around a minute in are sick. The thing I could see could use some tweaking are, first, the combat. I think I would like it to be able to cancel my attacks. Enemy tells were often shorter than Eve's attack animations, and it felt unfair in that regard. Second, side quests. More variety would be nice. It was almost always someone is missing, and 9 out of 10 times they're just dead. All right, this is a slight spoiler I wrote here. So if you don't want to know this, just go to the next timestamp. But I wanted to bring it up because it ties into their point. Lastly, some of the writing was strange to me. I laughed out loud when a character who was introduced on the space elevator didn't last long, and Eve and acted heartbroken about it. You didn't even know them. Why are you so crushed? Oh, and we can bump up the cheek slider a bit. I need more ass. Take care.
I remember that part.
When they wrote that, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. That was weird.
Yeah, that was stupid too. That wasn't like, again. That's part of when the game was getting good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Space elevator part was awesome, but I'm like, who the fuck is it? It's the Mike of Stellar Blade, Mike from Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah, the helicopter pilot, Mike. Yeah,
Mike. It's like, dude, we just met. Like, he just got here. You don't.
Sorry, have to add traffic. Yeah. All right. Well, Stellar Blade 2. Like we were saying, narrative need a lot of work on that.
Mm-hmm.
Side quest variety as well, I guess. What you're saying.
Oh yeah, the side quests suck too.
They're right
for sure. Oh my god,
a lot of them just kind of the same.
Dude, I actually just stopped playing the game once like the first block puzzle, like the second block puzzle came up. I was like, nope, I'm not in the mood for this right now. I fucking hate just grabbing a block by two hands and just like moving it slowly.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
Like, you know what game solved that problem like years, like decades ago? Fucking God of War 1, man.
Kick it.
Yeah, you just kick it across the goddamn room, bro. Fucking Dave, the genius David Jaffe right there. That's our man right there, and he solved it. And everyone decided, no, I guess we'll just waste everyone's fucking time every time. Including Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the first things you do in that fucking game is a fucking block puzzle game.
You move the like the vacuum thing.
The vacuum,
Mako reactor.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys, it's time for Sort It Out. On this segment, we just talk about something we're not pleased with in the game industry. Need some work, some sorting, if you will. Cog, you're rubbing your hands together. Do you have something off the top of your head?
Yeah, I thought this was very interesting. I've been seeing this comment. This is since the state of play. I obviously, Gene, you got in the mix with it too, and I want to sort it out. PS4 guys versus PS1 through 3 guys. And what I mean by that is that, I was actually, one of the, I guess, the few, because I saw Jeff Keighley's poll after State of Play that really liked that State of Play. And I thought that they had, like tactics and you had, some callbacks to classic Sega to classic PlayStation Lumines and Ape Escape and that was an Arc System fighting game. And I'm like, man, this is the Sony I like. Like, just doing some weird things, different genres. As Gene would say, not all sad, dad, high fidelity horse balls. And, like, I get it. I love those games too. But I felt like, I think Chris said it best. Chris Reagan said it best. We did a live show and he went extra though, with like the most overrated game of all time was Last of Us. I don't feel that strongly, but what he's saying is that he's mad that style of game is only determined as a good game for the later generation, and no one else is trying other genres. So yeah, we gotta sort it out. Newer generation PlayStation fans. To me, this was a little getting back to the essence. This was Hiroki Toki in his bag and, getting them kind of back to what I know them for. So I really like, so to me, sort out and play some other genres is where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with the Last of Us thing too. And that's what's happening to Expedition 33, guys. I don't think you understand. I think people don't really understand, but Expedition 33 is truly the Last of Us of JRPGs. Every character is morally gray. There's no good guy or bad guy. What happens at the end? You have to debate it. Were they right? Were they wrong? Oh my god! There's no good guys. There's no good guys at all. I hate that shit. You know what is also getting flack for doing that? Fucking Lilo and Stitch. Because they changed the ending to Lilo and Stitch, and the director is like, "No, life is hard though, man. People do get left behind," and then people are like, "Fuck that, man. What the fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
What is this morally gray Lilo and Stitch shit? It's bullshit.
Yeah, like
sure. I'm not saying I'm tired of it. Expedition 33. I thought Expedition 33 did it well, but it's like, guys, we can't like ask for like this game to be like the only thing, you know, like please play games with like an actual perspective for once too, you know.
Not for that. Gotta try different things, man. Gotta try
instead of both sidesing everything. Oh, well, the Democrats are good and bad too, and the Republicans are good and bad too. What does that solve? Nothing.
She going in.
Yeah, that was good. That was spicy. I like that, Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very nice. Is there anything else you think needs sorting, Gene? Or are you good?
Yeah, I have one for not in the games industry, but real quick, sorted out to Lil Wayne.
What do you do?
What's up with Lil Wayne?
Have you not heard the Carter 6?
Oh, I did drop. It's trash.
It is one of the worst rap albums I've ever heard.
Wow.
It is awful.
Easy F baby, the key to the lady. Oh no.
There is a song called Peanuts to an Elephant, and you'll never guess who the producer is. Who did the beat for that? Guess.
Birdman?
Pharrell?
No, not even.
Tim?
I'll tell you because you will literally never guess. The producer is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
What are we doing?
The guy who made Hamilton, the guy who wrote I don't know, Disney songs or whatever like that.
Wow.
He got him on Peanuts to an Elephant. It's a trash beat. Actually, the beat's kind of funny. It's actually one of the funnier songs on the album because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
You know? But Wayne's flow is awful in it. He does not slide. He like stumbles all over that beat. So it's like this is a weird beat with a trash flow from Wayne. Another song is a cover of "Holidays" by Weezer.
Okay.
But it's just like auto-tuned, but it's like auto-tuned in a way where like there are 5 versions of Lil Wayne auto-tuning the song, and like none of his singing is in harmony at all. So it's just he's just singing in different ways. Sounds awful. And then instead of saying hip hip, you know, in that song, the Weezer song, he says, "What you drinking, baby? Sip sip." It's like, oh my god, dude, fuck this shit, dude.
Damn, there's like way too long.
There's like 4 or 5 songs that are like decent on it, and then like they trick you. Like they started there at the beginning, and you're like, okay,
they start off strong. Yeah, you're like,
they start strong, and then like there's like a 5-hit combo in the middle where it's just all trash, like the trashiest songs you've ever heard.
Damn, dude.
I was just like, it just feels like it never ends. Like it's like a barrage of like just like nonsense. It's really, really sad. So it's really sad to see Lil Wayne go out like this, because you know Lil Wayne is considered one of the GOATs, you know, and he was you know, him and T-Pain were you know standards for my generation of the clubs and everything like that. So it's like you want to hear some bangers, and there are none. You know, there's a song called "If I Play Guitar," and it's like a Taylor Swift song basically. It's like no drums, all folk guitar, and he's got lyrics like, you know, if you play guitar like you play my heart or something. You know?
Oh, what we doing?
It's like, bro, dude,
that sounds crazy. That sounds.
What are you talking about? Anyways, that's my little rap sorted out for today. Little Wayne sorted out. Just I either hang out and do some features for the young kids, you know. Like,
you got to get back in time.
Do some features with some young folks. Let them teach you some stuff, you know, because like this album sounds like it's trying to be like something for the younger generation. Like there's a song with Jelly Roll on it, and it's like I'm telling you, Cog, it sounds just like a Suicide Squad song, like from the soundtrack, you know. With Imagine Dragons, I'm surprised Imagine Dragons wasn't on this. I'm surprised Imagine Dragons isn't on this. Why not? You know, you got everyone else on this. You know,
yeah, my man.
MGK is on it. You know,
wow, that's crazy.
Oh. Anyways, that's my story.
Does he still hang out with Birdman? I remember that guy would make me fucking laugh. First of all, because his name's Birdman, and I love that.
Birdman's dope, yeah.
But sometimes they would be like on a song, and be like, or something like that. That shit made me laugh every time.
None of that energy. None of that fun energy, really.
None of that Cash Money energy. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Money?
Cash Money. Yeah, I remember. Wow, that was a long time
Get
ago.
Money, yeah. That song.
Young Money on it? No Drizzy, no Nicki on it?
No, nothing like that, yeah.
Damn, he got Young Money on it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Couldn't throw Young Money a bone.
Damn, yeah. Well, all right. What you got, Brad, for Sort It Out?
I don't really have anything. 2 very small things, I suppose. One is, this does not matter to anyone except me. For Punching Up, very annoyed because there's a Nintendo Direct on Donkey Kong the day after punching up at 6 a.m. So I'm like, fuck Nintendo, bitch. That just makes recording way more annoying for us. Yeah, you know what that's like. If you host a podcast, it's only annoying to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the curse of the Duke's.
If you want to hold it, I guess we can talk about it later. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
It's just like, fuck. So that's annoying. And I'm sad to see, I guess isn't a sword. I'm just bummed to see that apparently 16 isn't selling well on Xbox.
Oh, no.
I'm just like, damn, man. Yeah. That game's cool, man. It's just like,
that game's cool. Xbox guys, go play it, man. If you want a game that has a good God of War energy, that classic God of War energy of like man versus like God, yeah, FF16 has a ton of that.
Awesome characters in that game too, man.
Cool characters. Some of the coolest fights of all time, like to this
really
day.
Cool cinematic fights,
cinematics, voice acting.
Yeah,
Sid is up in there.
It's a game that launched Ben Starr's career.
Yes.
When that game came out, I was like, yeah, it's cast Ben Starr and everything, and unfortunately, that's happening now.
Yeah, unfortunately, that has happened. Yeah. He's in everything now.
He really is in everything now.
He's become
our British Troy Baker,
So. Yes.
Sure has, yeah. Need him in a Kojima game now.
I know. Yeah, I you know what? I would absolutely adore Ben Starr being directed by Kojima.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of? Did you see that interview with Norman Reedus he did with BAFTA where he's like talking about how Kojima directs, and he's like, yeah, and then he'll just like say things like, okay, then you pick up the baby, and then you cry, and then I'm like, what about? The way he says it is so funny. He's like, what about?
That's really funny.
And then Kojima's like, look, a whale.
Yeah.
I couldn't watch
yeah.
too much.
That's funny shit, dude.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's see here. This is from Adam. Hey, Summoners, I got to sort it out. For games whose DLCs require you to get to a certain point in the game, despite being more or less standalone, like Liza P. Overture. I loved Liza P. when I played it last year, so much that I immediately started New Game Plus and never got back to it. Too many great games coming out and a massive backlog prevent me from replaying games very often, if ever. This basically means that as much as I would love to play Overture, I likely never will. It's the reason I never played Bloodborne's The Old Hunters DLC. Developers, please allow us to spec up a new character or use a New Game Plus playthrough to immediately access the DLC.
Okay.
If I recall correctly, Cyberpunk did something like this when Phantom Liberty came out. Devs, I want to play your DLCs, sort it out.
Okay. You got me in there. I was like, no, skill issue, dude. You should play the game. But then like when he was talking about options, I was like, okay, no, that's fair. That I would welcome that too. So.
Yeah, I think The Witcher did that. Witcher 3 would allow you to like hop in with a save.
It's just CDPR, Cyberpunk Witcher.
CDPR,
Yeah, they did it great. I remember that, like Blood and Wine and stuff. You could just start right there if you wanted.
And the beautiful thing about Phantom Liberty is that when you start Phantom Liberty, it is kind of a New Game Plus. If you don't want to do the whole intro again, the whole intro heist that takes fucking like 6 or 7 hours. It's basically a 7-hour tutorial. So long, it makes the game really, really shitty to replay. If you don't want to do that, just start up a Phantom Liberty save, and boom, you pass all the intro, all the tutorials. If you already know the story, you don't care about it. Boom, you're in the game. You're in the open world. Go play. That's awesome.
That's good.
That's so awesome. Yeah, CDPR is great.
Yeah. All right. This is from Scott Barker. Hello, Brad, Cog, Gene. I hope you're all doing well. I have it sorted out. I was trying to get the PS5 upgrade of Days Gone this weekend, which I have the PS Disc for, but previously had it added to my library in PS Plus, and therefore the upgrade option is not displaying for me, which is pretty frustrating, and I've seen others online experiencing this too. I've uninstalled and reinstalled, but to no avail. Also, PlayStation's customer support is not available on the weekend in the UK, so I'm unable to upgrade or receive help with this. Pretty crazy that we're almost 5 years into the console's life and we still can't get simple upgrades. Sort it out, Sony, and y'all have a great day. Yeah, that's a bummer. That's a bummer.
That sucks.
That sucks, yeah.
Yeah, that's shit like that shouldn't be happening still.
I agree.
Come on, Sony.
Yeah,
sort it out, Sony. Yeah, get on that. You got to get that.
Yeah, got to get that together.
You got to get that going now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys. It's time for keep it up. The exact opposite. Stuff we're happy with in gaming. Cog, are you happy about anything? You just want to say keep it up, Shinobi, right now? Because that game is good.
Yeah,
real good.
Yeah, keep it up, Sega. Keep it up, Sega. And again, I always come in with very measured expectation. When I love something hard, like I usually come like, all right, they're gonna come in with a very measured, simple Sega Genesis energy, and I'll be fine with that. I'll be cool with that. But no, this was
it ain't. Yeah, above and beyond kind of what I expected from that game. I was like, oh shit! When I played that, I was like, dang.
Yeah, I remember you said it because I didn't get a chance to play it. I was like, man, he loves it. Yeah, I was like, no, but it was a good sign because I was like, if you liked it that much, was considered not a Shinobi guy, and you kind of, I
like Shinobi. I was always more in the Ninja Gaiden camp, though.
Got it. Okay, right. So to hear you say that, it really resonated. And I'm like, people who don't, normally gravitate towards are really loving it. And that's when I realized it's more of a evolution and modernization in this time, as opposed to copy paste what we've always done and just, put a cool art style on it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And that's the thing. And shout out to the, like I said, Bedford Quarry, that art, man. Like
it looks really good. Yeah.
Bro.
Really nice.
Animation looks nice. So it's very promising start. Keep it up, Lizard Cube, and keep it up, for them keeping the tradition of Sega, and Sega kind of allowing them to go say, hey, go ahead. Actually, no, Sega, the heads of the original team, they're actually working in conjunction with Lizard Cube.
Cool.
In reference to that. So I thought that was super cool to get guidance as well from them. And Sega actually choosing. It was a serendipitous. Like both of them stay pitched the Shinobi game, and then they were looking at a studio to do it, and that it was the perfect fit. So cool. I'm loving what's going on.
Yeah, very awesome game. Mm-hmm. Gene, what about you? Anything?
I don't know, not really. I'm feeling corny. Keep it up to the Last Stand Media listeners out there for being so loyal and listening to us. I know that we're often antagonistic towards you guys. We hate for you guys. And some of you guys are very stupid, but we also love you very much too. We're also very stupid too.
True.
So, a little wholesome moment. I think it's really awesome being in this podcast network, and the fact that you guys listen to 2 to 4 hour long podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
You guys help me understand. There's so much a variety of listeners out there. You guys are out there as truck drivers. You guys are service workers, and you guys are listening, and you guys listen to us, and we're helping your day, but you help us out here too. So, that's all. Just an earnest. Keep it up to the listeners. Thanks for all the support.
Yeah, man. It's funny you said that. Mike had sent me something that someone sent, to me, and I was like, what? I've never received like a fan mail of my life. I was like, wow, it was a really, really heartfelt letter.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you need that sometimes, because let's be honest, we all zoom to the comment section sometimes and we like, damn, they didn't like when I said this, that, or everyone's mad at me because of this one comment out of 1,000 words you may have said in the 4-hour podcast, but that one comment goes off and you're the enemy, and it's so crazy. But to see what you realize is that is vocal minority sometimes, but a lot of people who really like you don't comment, and it's kind of cool when you see or you get something from people that say, hey, Gene, hey, Brad, like I really like, what you said on this, that, and the third. It makes you feel good. So yeah, salute to LSM as well. Gene, I agree with you on that. They're very passionate. We get a whole variety of people, and they, for the most part, community is super dope.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I wonder if anyone's listening to this show in a submarine. What do you think about all the weird locations people listen to the show? Yeah. Be crazy.
Yeah. Let us know. Let us know in the comments where you guys listen.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah. More data for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
For my keep it up, I guess I'm just going to do to these South Korean developers, NeoWiz, Shift Up, dude. Doing good stuff right now. Good week for them. Still wait on PC. Liza P just had DLC come out. Very nice stuff. I like these games very much, both these games. So I'm very happy to see the South Korean scene kind of busted in right now with some good games. So I love it. Shout out. Also, keep it up to Magic having Final Fantasy now.
Oh, bro, those are fire.
Yeah.
I just got my boxes in the mailroom right now.
So I'm
gonna go grab it after we get off.
They on that, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Impressive.
Love the art, so I'm very happy about that.
Yes.
Good collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. This is from Marcus. What's up, Summon Crew? Just want to give it a keep it up to the Souls-like recently. Lies of P was incredible for me, and I finished Kazan the First Berserker, which I found the combat incredibly satisfying. Great
also
game.
Korean made Kazan. I did not know that. Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I might have to try this game out now. So
it's cool. There's a demo.
Yeah.
It's hard as fuck, though.
Yeah.
I'm a snob when it comes to Souls games. If it's not from software, I just don't want it. But them two games have proven that sometimes it can be done right. Yeah. I mean, I'm a snob about Souls-likes as well, but there are other great ones out there. This is from Astro Pear King. Hello, Glizzy Gobblers. I want to give a keep it up to CD Projekt Red. The cross progression and the 40 FPS mode on Switch 2 has been a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
More games should totally implement this mode for later releases. Have a shake that tail cog type of day. Damn.
I love it.
They killing me, man. They killing me. I had to do the road to Tokyo. They had me the Bowser suit, G. They had me the Bowser suit.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
With the collar and the tail and the shell in the back. It was bad, man. So they doing all type of songs. They beaming me. They throwing AI on me with a tail. They doing all type of craziness to me right now.
Damn, man.
Let's keep it.
Gotta get to Tokyo, man.
Gotta get to Tokyo, man. They getting us there, clearly.
Yeah. All right. This is from Gay Z and Cockfeller.
Hey, yo. That's a Nas joint right there. I remember that. That's Ether.
I want to say keep it up to the boys of LSM who engage with listeners on social media. I love that I can tweet at someone like Gene or Cog and get a genuine response from them. Not that it's something I need from my favorite creators, but it's awesome to receive feedback despite their very busy schedules. Thank you for the laughs and insight. Yes, I'm a Snark Tank enjoyer, hence the name. I always assume if you have an insane name.
Yes. Raygun fam. You already know. Yeah. Salute.
Chris Raygun fans, the biggest freaks on the internet for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you're very welcome, though. I like, again, I used to be a social media editor, so I'm all about engagement,
Yeah.
The whole reason why people even know who the fuck I am in the first place is because I'm always talking back to people in one way or another.
Yeah,
so, I limit it as much like before, like how I used to, but I'm not above not talking to people. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so, if
what's the point of having it if you're not?
Yeah, so I'm just like, you know what? Someone says something really cool or something that I want to respond to, then I'll get into it. So usually, if people respect, I usually always respond. Mm-hmm. So it's cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Very nice. Thank you guys for writing in. All right. This segment, game recommendation. I asked the audience for a game recommendation for the audience themselves. We can take it if we want. Not required, though, because we get a million recommendations already from people. But this is for all the audience out there. This is from Derek Beek. I have a game recommendation for the audience, and this one respects your time at only about 90 minutes long. It's called Megaton Rainfall, and it's available on all platforms, including VR. It's like anything you've ever played as you're the son of a god with planet destroying powers. No, literally, you can charge a beam and destroy an entire planet. What makes it so unique is that the game uses Google Universe data to simulate the entire universe as we know it, and you could fly in all the planets to destroy them as you like. On top of that, it also has a killer soundtrack. I guarantee you've never played a game like it before, and I gift it to all my friends on Steam whenever it's on sale. Damn, dude, use Google Universe data. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's kind of like flight sim stuff. I'm looking at it right now. It looks pretty cool. Cool.
I never heard of it, so love hearing these weird recommendations. Nice. I don't take just weird ones, by the way. I just think that's something that sounds interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But a very cool one. So yeah, there you go. By the way, that's every show. So if your listeners have a game recommendation, I only take one though, so keep that in mind because we do get a lot, and I appreciate everyone that writes in. I do read all your comments, as we do on all of our shows, but we just can't take them all. But thank you guys. All right, Cog.
Yo.
Some Switch 2 stuff with you now. You got your Switch 2. I could see it in the background. You got your box right there. Mm-hmm. What's been going on? Yeah, what's been going on with Switch 2 with you?
I've been liking it, man. Yeah, I mean, I stood on that line for hours before I went to Summer Games, man. As I wanted to have it on that flight. And, first, I love the console. Like, it feels premium, especially the magnetic.
I love the magnets.
Yeah, I was like, okay. And I'm a strong dude. I'm like, this thing ain't budget. So it's not flopping around, that kind of thing. I love the build quality. It's really cool. I went through the online setup and stuff like that. But it's funny because I think I call myself, I'm the demographic Nintendo needs to win over. Right? Because, you guys, I assume, I feel love Nintendo's first party, get the majority of the games. I'm the different Nintendo guy. I like third party. I like their little exclusives here and there, their little weird stuff. But the first thing I did, obviously Mario Kart, of course, right? I played it. It looks great. You're doing the tracks, you're doing the tricks. These courses, the design, you could go offbeat. You could race a whole nother race that other people are playing.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Bro, I'm like, this is hilariously funny and what you can do in it, but it's so cool. The addiction is there, the glow up is there. And at first I was like, is it strong enough at first to be, because I really love Switch 1 with Zelda, with Breath of the Wild being there. That was
that was a huge, that was a moment. Yeah.
It was the perfect game for me. So I was like, is this going to have that feel? I was worried, and even though it doesn't have Breath of the Wild feeling, I was like, it's still an amazing launch game because you're getting everybody involved, you get to use the party chat, then you're getting online, and it just opens up more and more as you go. At first I was a little whelmed. I'm like, kind of the same with a glow up, but as you unlock more stuff and knockout mode and this and that, and I'm like, all right, I get it. And then the online part, so I was having fun with that. But I'm playing my Switch differently. Bro, I put in so many hours on Cyberpunk just to see.
Okay.
I needed to know what that DLSS was doing. I needed to know what a modern, kind of next gen kind of game on a Nintendo system. Bro, they pulled this off. Doing handheld mode, 1080p 30. I could switch it to 720, 40 FPS. But I said, I like the 1080p, the visual fidelity. And the thing that I think, shout out to, I think it was Astral Parrot King I mentioned, the fact that CD Projekt Red has online cross progression. I am literally taking my console save or going from my Xbox to a PC and on that Switch and continuing it. And I'm a person, I didn't get a chance to play and beat Phantom Liberty. So that was something I'm like, okay, now I can knock this out on the go. And the thing that I like about Nintendo better than anybody is that a lot of the modern handhelds, because I have more ROG Ally, Steam and all that, they're really not built and designed for offline play. You have to go through a couple of steps to, especially with ROG Ally. I'll just say that. At least Steam is a little better. It doesn't notice it. It tries to connect. It tries to authenticate. It's like, okay, hey, you want to go to offline mode after a while, and then let you go. The Switch is like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I feel like they do offline and they do couch co-op better than anyone. They really try to accommodate people next to each other or without internet. And I think that's dope. The other thing I've been doing, this is the geeky stuff, which I'm infatuated now. I've been going through my whole Switch 1 library.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We were doing that too. Yeah.
The back compact glow up natural. None of these things have patches. Bro, I threw on that Astral Chain. I was like, I remember this part. I used to have the little, the chain and, your little companion that fights with you. The frame used to take so bad on Switch 1. Bro, Astral Chain runs like butter on this thing. I'm like, damn, this is a glow up. I'm a big Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which was exclusive.
Oh, right. Switch. Yeah.
And Marvel Ultimate is one of my favorite games. And back then, with it, a lot of enemies on screen.
It was bad, yeah.
It was rough. And, with that Team Ninja joint. And then the other thing was, what broke my heart was, again, they had no online, no voice chat. So now I could play it properly with the homie. That's what I'm talking about. I got me the Pro Controller. Very nice. Love the Pro Controller. That thing feels, sleek, amazing. Oh my God, it feels so perfect in your head. Love that. And the one I surprised, I'm going to give a super big shout out. I've been telling everybody, what was one of the most impressive glow up Switch 1 games? MLB The Show 25.
Oh.
Bro, I played it on Switch 1 before I got to Switch 2. It was a damn slideshow. They're in the batter box. And as soon as you make contact, it's framing out. I'm like, oh no. Bro,
I take back what I said earlier about skill issue with 30 frames per second. At a baseball game, you want all those frames for sure.
Frames.
You need every single piece of data you need, visual data you need.
It is silky smooth. The transitions, the feel.
Interesting.
Yes.
I might actually check it out now.
I couldn't believe it was playable. And remember, I'm a sports guy. And you can't play, because I think MLB The Show at one point was in Game Pass. It's no longer Game Pass.
Yeah, it was.
It was, right? But when it was only console Game Pass. And then it's not on PC. So I'm like, Switch is technically the only handheld where I can play baseball on the go now.
I have NBA 2K on the Switch. I should check them out now.
Bro, you gotta try 2K. I'm about to go through all my sports games.
Yo, I'm gonna install that right now. Holy crap.
Oh, bro, I am having a renaissance of back compat on Switch too, and it is amazing. I think the next one I'm gonna see how grounded is. I want to get my grounded on and stuff like that. So again, I'm the third party guy. I'm the guy that actually buys third parties on Switch for the portability stuff. But yeah, I've been loving it. My only nitpick I would say is just that it feels like Nintendo just learned how to get QR codes. Like everything is a validation, bro. Like six times you gotta. Oh, there we go. Oh, you want that 2K? Let's go.
2K3.
You got that 2K3 about to see what it do. All right, that's what I'm
one of the guys who wants guns and balls in my games. You know.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So we got that, and then I would say, negative nitpick. Even though Ethernet on the dock, which I like, where's my download speeds? I got fast download. So I don't know if it's their servers, bro. Because I'm trying to re-download all my games, do a Tears of the Kingdom, what you call it, Breath of the Wild. I didn't do Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, I did Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that hit different.
Huge upgrade. Yeah.
Huge upgrade. But yeah, so far so good, man. I've been absolutely loving it so far. And it's my back compat. Catch up on all the games, how they supposed to run. Bayonetta at 60. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Saints Row the Third, 60 frames. Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy, man. And shout out to the devs who back then had the foresight to keep the frame rates unlocked. So now, where we are now, Switch 2 is just naturally, and again, these are not patched. These are no enhancement. This is just the natural Switch 2 doing this, which was very impressive.
Mm-hmm. This is from Big Dumb Stupid Idiot. Hey, Brad, Gene, and Lord Cognito, one of the Iron Lords, king of the beefcakes. Cog, do you have any thoughts on Nintendo's infamous $80 game, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Switch 2 edition? With around 100 hours on the OG Switch, the Switch 2 updates are making me a little emotional. Buttery smooth 60 FPS and 4K HDR makes Tears, I don't think it's 4K, makes Tears feel like a completely new game.
I think it's 1440,
yeah, lock it in as one of the boats. Best of all time. I'll be outside and listening.
Shout out to Big Ducks. Listen, man, I will say as a Sega kid, I've always been jealous of Nintendo secretly when I've seen Zelda and Mario and the quality of the mascots. And I think for me, I've always liked Metroid and Zelda the most.
Mm-hmm.
So again, when I saw Breath of the Wild, I was just like, wow, that's it right there. They have elevated to where I want them to go. Such an amazing sandbox. And then Tears of the Kingdom now take it to the next level when you completely play it in this sandbox and do all these amazing things now from a gameplay standpoint. But it was just the frames and the performance was so rough. But I got to give it to you, man. Big dumb stupid idiot. I got to give it to you. That game is clean, man. So right now I'm still in my Breath of the Wild bag. I'm going to fire up what you call it. Everyone's telling me. But like, yeah, I'm not going to, this is how it was intended. And I can't wait. I'm taking my time because I still got, master mode? I got all these modes and stuff I haven't done on Breath of the Wild. Yeah, just to kind of knock out. But yeah, man, I
have you finished one of them before? Have you finished Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom?
I finished Breath. I didn't finish Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay. Yeah. My advice would just be play Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh, just go straight to it? Okay.
Go straight to Tears of the Kingdom, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just go straight to it.
Okay, we'll do. I did. Okay, nice.
Yeah. It has better fights, better bosses.
Yeah, it's kind of better in pretty much every way.
Yeah, pretty much better in every way. Okay. Better story too.
Yeah,
got it.
And you're going to be having a premium experience on that Switch 2 version. It's real fucking good. It's real good.
Love it.
Yeah, people will find out I'm punching up tomorrow, but I still haven't played a lot of my Switch 2 actually. It's funny to hear people play way more Switch 2.
I've been busy with other stuff.
Yeah, I've been so busy. One thing I will say about Cyberpunk on a Switch, awesome conversion, right? Awesome port. Mm-hmm. One thing I noticed, and I was happy to see Digital Foundry confirm this, that the crowd size is much smaller on the Switch, actually.
Yes.
It is actually kind of more PS4 level. And the PS5 version of Cyberpunk had that going for a long time too. It was just running the PS4 version, and it was pretty empty streets and crowds and not a lot of cars. And then they finally updated it for the version 2.0 for Phantom Liberty, and it's properly modern. But yeah, for the Switch version, it looks great. It looks better than the Series S, but the crowd size is definitely smaller. You go to the markets, and it's like, man, there's definitely less people, and I kind of like that about Cyberpunk, how crowded and like
me too. Me too.
Yeah. So I might actually just go back to playing Cyberpunk on a Steam Deck.
Yeah. Cyberpunk's always gonna be. I mean, CD Projekt Red games are usually just PC games for me. Yeah, that's where I prefer to play their games usually. But it's great to have options, man. It's awesome.
I just
sounds like a pretty good thing. Yeah,
I think I'll still go back to on the Switch too. Anyways, if you like to hop around some NCPD quests,
because for me, what it is like now we're in this handheld bag, so it's like I don't like carrying two handhelds now. So it's like, all right, I said to myself, saying, what am I going to play? What games are going to play the most? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to play like 3 or 4 Steam games. I'll take this, the ROG Ally or the Steam Deck, right? But if I'm going to be playing majority the Nintendo games, I'm like, you know what? On the flight, I'm taking this Switch and I'm going to, I'll stay with these 4 or 5 games. I usually have a rotation of like 4 or 5 games, and that's when I'll, pick the platform that I'm actually going to try.
Yeah, I got Kunitsugami on there too. I still need to try that, and you guys have been recommending that for a while too. So that's another game that I need to catch up on. So.
I would love your opinion on that, Gene. Big time. I would love your opinion on that.
I'm sure I'll like it. I'm just trying to get through all these other games right now.
We all do it a lot. I already know you do it a lot.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you gonna get the new Asus, the Xbox one or whatever?
Yeah, they got me.
They got you? Cool.
They got me. I already know. I'm setting aside about $1,000.
You already have one, right? You already have
I have an Asus Ally X. Yeah, I have the Ally X, the one before. But yeah, the main thing is just get rid of that Windows bloat.
Is that not going to be on all of them, or is it just going to be on this one?
So the vibe I'm getting is that it will be semi-exclusive for a time, but it will eventually come to the others. Yeah, the other platform, that OS. So yeah. So pretty much, they get rid of the bloat, go straight into an Xbox UI, and then actually improve performance, and then obviously the native Game Pass, the multiple storefronts, all that other stuff. Yeah. I played Gears Reload on it; it was spectacular.
I want one. Definitely Xbox if you're listening.
Yeah. Gene Punk, man.
Xbox, you can send me one too.
I can't afford it, so please send me one too. Yeah.
Said Brad, he gets ahead of me and Shinobi. Said Gene. Yeah. These guys are qualified, man. Please get them Xbox ROG Ally X.
But yeah, I know you're a big handheld guy, so I'm very interested to hear what you think about it when it comes out. Is it this year or is it next year?
Holiday of this year. Holiday of this year.
Crazy.
I would set aside about $1,000 just in case.
Yeah, it's going to be
how the tariff situation, how the situation goes.
Yeah, it's going to be expensive, but
yes.
All right. Let's see here. Well, I'm happy to hear you're enjoying the Switch, dude. Cog, that's good.
Yeah, I love it.
Metroid Prime 4 is coming out this year. Donkey Kong's coming up soon.
Oh, that Metroid Prime 4 look crazy.
Yeah, very excited for that. All right. Gene, final game here. Death Stranding. You've been playing Death Stranding 1.
Yeah. I don't want to take up too much time right now, but and obviously I can't talk about Death Stranding 2 yet. But it is interesting to go back to Death Stranding 1 and see what's different about it. I think the most different thing is the lack of a dynamic a day and night cycle. Actually, that's actually huge. And
isn't it crazy how there isn't like a day and night cycle in that game?
It's a little wild,
crazy,
right? Yeah. And it's something that you kind of don't really notice while you're playing the game.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's so noticeable when you after coming back from DS2 and just like you're on a journey and it's like nighttime. It's like no shit.
Yeah.
But it's such a special little game.
The Stranding 1 rules.
What's fun is that I go back into the PC version because I played the PC version a lot too, especially on the Steam Deck. And when you play online, like most of the stuff that you see around the world is like Japanese players.
Really?
Japanese players are playing and building the hell out of this game too. So it's really fun to see like all these Japanese signs and Japanese names. And that's one thing about Death Stranding in general is that like even though it's like a very isolated game and very single player game, like I never really feel lonely,
Yeah, it has like that Souls like weird kind of
social link.
It reminds me of like kind of like Souls like multiplayer. It's like very not traditional, I should say. It's like there are people technically in the world. You can't see any of them, but like you see signs of them.
There's evidence.
Signs of life.
Yes.
Signs of life, there's evidence, and it's like, oh, no kidding. Yeah, thanks for this letter. Thanks for this bike out of nowhere, you know?
Yeah, I'm really excited when it comes out to see like people on my friends list, their stuff like in the world. That's always really fun. Mm-hmm. I remember playing through the first game, like seeing my actual friends' games on PSN, like their stuff out in the world. You're like, damn, that's a cool connection. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I do love that about Death Stranding and Souls games. It brings the world to life from a single place.
Mm-hmm. It really does feel like the world is brought to life. Like when you walk out of like a station and you see all these little lights set up by other people, you know, it's the whole the thing is lit up and everything like that. So I don't know, just an appreciation for Death Stranding 1. As I'm like really in the Death Stranding mode. I don't think the game has multiple save files, which is
I don't know if it does. Yeah,
I think there's a way you can like just like do out manual saves, but I haven't really explored it that much. But like one of the most annoying things about, at least about the original Death Stranding, was that you only had one save. So it makes it a hard game to replay. But fortunately, you can like replay all the bosses. You can replay all like the Mads Mikkelsen missions and everything like that. So that's really fun to go back to, and also just reliving the story and seeing how different it is from DS1 and DS2. I'll definitely have a lot more to say about DS2.
Oh yeah.
And next week's Nintendo podcast, I guess. Maybe I should have waited for someone to sign for next week so I can talk about Death Stranding too. But also, it'll be hard to talk around without spoilers too. Yeah, that's the one thing about like me playing all these games, like being on this network, is that like it's usually only Maddie that could probably talk about talk about stuff with, and like we're never on any other shows. So you know, I'm always talking about the latest PlayStation game on a Nintendo podcast or whatever. But I'm very, very excited to talk about Death Stranding too. It's not a spoiler, but I have been working hard to make sure that you guys see all my shit all over the world. You guys will never forget me. I will never be a memory.
Cool. Oh no, bro, you are having one of the more historic journalistic runs I feel like the last 2 years you've been cooking, bro. Like I'm proud of you, man. I'm like, he did that, and I just Wu-Tang. I'm just seeing different parts. You're in your bag right now.
Yeah. Shout out to Sam White over at GQ UK though, because he had a really great interview with Hideo Kojima.
Yes.
And one I'm jealous of because he did the exact same angle that I wanted to do for my piece. So it's like I can't do it anymore. He did it, you know.
Wait, how do you flip it? How do you flip the
angle? He talked about death with Hideo Kojima because Kojima, and that's something I noticed when I saw him at the Tribeca Film Festival when he did that documentary for Connecting Worlds, the documentary that's on Disney Plus. The whole time when he was on stage with Jeff Keighley, like he was just talking about dying and like, oh my god, you know, I'm so afraid about dying. I'm gonna die soon, you know. So I'm just like, why is he so obsessed with death all of a sudden? And the GQ story got to the heart of that. You know, he had a health issue with his eye. He almost went blind. You know.
Wow.
That's tough for a game creator. So he was really faced with his mortality, and DS2 will be reflecting a lot of that too. So guys, go check out DS1. One of my favorite things about Death Stranding 1 is, you know, also go check out Brad's video on it. I actually listened to it and watched it while I've been playing DS1 and DS2. But one of my favorite things about DS1 is this critical reevaluation. You know, where people thought that it was stupid and just walking simulator or boring, and then they dismiss it, and then they go back to it, and they're like, "Oh, I was not locked in. Actually, I'm sorry."
It's kind of reminds me of a couple of people on this network.
I do now.
Well, like one of my favorite content creators, Lupason, like he played it back in the day in 2019, and he was like, I don't get this game, but then he played it recently. He was like, no, this is like therapy. This is like, he was like I'm sorry, Kojima, I was not logged in. I didn't.
It's a total like you have to be in the right headspace for that game. I think it's such like a weird unusual game, and if you're not in the mood for something like that, you can bounce off real fast.
You nailed it. I didn't catch it the first time at all, and then when it hit for me was obviously it came to Xbox at some point, but it was PC Game Pass at first.
Yeah,
And I was like, all right, it's no excuse. Let me try. And bro, I had a flight to Dublin. Oh, bro, I was like 8 to 10, 9 hours, and I was in lockstep with this thing. I was like, all right, it's clicking now. I'm getting it now. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Once you start getting like the good upgrades, right? Like once you get the gun and you get like a better boots and you get like the better battery pack, and you're just like, oh, I get it now. Like this is really a game about self-improvement, and and like the progression system is really, really rewarding, and you're just like, no, I want to keep doing this so I can get more shit.
Yep. Bro, that flight flew. I played that so much Death Stranding. I was like, damn, it was the director's cut.
Yeah. Director's cut is great. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, shout out Death Stranding. I can't wait for 2 next week.
I cannot wait for you guys to play this game.
Yeah, I'm very excited. But yeah, Kojima games are always a spectacle. So yeah, check it out if you haven't. If you're going to play 2, at least watch a recap of the story of 1 to have some sort of context.
There is a recap of 2 or of 1 in 2. Yeah. So I think you might actually be good in that regard.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't played 2, but I probably wouldn't recommend playing them back to back. In my opinion.
That'd be tough. Oof. Yeah, that'd be tough. Like fortunately, yeah, I agree with that. Even though I'm doing that right now. Yeah, like I am like in Death Stranding mode right now, and I also like, part of the review process is also like really understanding the differences between the games.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, boys.
I would not recommend doing that. Just for the average person, and you didn't get a chance to go to 1, like there's a recap or just watch a video to get into that. You'll be okay.
Yeah. All right, boys. Time for some closing comments / questions from the audience. You want to write the show? Patreon.com/laststandmedia. I post a thread every Saturday calling for your submissions, so keep an eye out there. This is from Morgan Williams. Greetings, amazing summoners. With the new pre-colloding about a Halo announcement in the works, I read a comment saying Halo couldn't escape the 2000s. I find this comment very interesting and wonder if you guys think Halo can evolve in this new age. Even with it coming to PS5, I'll listen while I'm lifting heavy things just to put them back down. Yeah, that's gym life, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Carl, I went back to the gym this past week. I had been out for over 3 weeks because I was on vacation. Then I got sick for like a couple weeks. So now I'm coming back, and boy, it's good to be back, but it's a struggle getting back to where you were.
Yeah, the body's like, hey, we're not used to this. What you doing?
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm sorry, body.
Sorry, body. Give me time. Yeah, that's as good as you get back to it, brother.
Yeah, you got to work back into it.
Yeah, for Morgan, right?
He's talking about, Morgan. Halo. Can it escape the 2000s feel of it? It reminds me of like when they added sprinting to Halo and stuff like that. People were very upset about things like that. The loadouts.
Yeah. It's tough because Halo's such a passionate community, and then at the same time, it's just like, okay, you got to have some things in the modern age. We can't completely not evolve, but then there's people who are like, hey, they want the purest, that core feel, and they don't want it tampered with. I will say, I really liked Infinite from a core gameplay standpoint.
Me too.
I thought they had the nice mix. It just obviously the support was the issue, you know what I'm saying, and not having a proper live service roadmap like everyone else and their mother has. I knew it was in trouble when like the end of the battle pass, it was like a flamey helmet, and the flames looked bad. And I was like, yeah, they're not ready for prime time. You know what I'm saying? Then you go play those couple maps. I don't really think they got to do much, man. I honestly, the key with them right now, if you're going to come out with a new one, because I think the rumor is that they're most likely going to do like a Combat Evolve again.
A remake, right? Yeah.
So if they do that, then you really can't mess up that formula too much. But I guess how I'm going to answer this is if they decide to showcase, what's after Infinite, so to speak. To me, the pressure's on them to tell a strong narrative.
Dude, God, the Halo story is such a mess, man. It's such a mess.
Like, they'll have cool characters, cool villains, then the story will go left. And again, was Infinite story the worst? No, but it's just like they didn't wrap anything up. We didn't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like
they didn't accomplish anything, dude.
Yeah, it's like
we barely found out anything about the fucking ring, man. This is Zeta Halo. This is like one of the most important. This is like the most important ring in the fucking Halo lore, man. They didn't do any of that shit.
I went nothing with my man Atriox, and I'm just like, besides the beginning, and I'm like, I need I can't be waiting 7 years and these things are just barely moving at a snail's pace of a narrative. Like they really got to buckle down. So I'm going to keep the boot on their neck with narrative and really tell a cohesive story. And that's where I'm at. That's what needs to evolve. Because I think the core gameplay at its core, it's always going to be Halo. You can't truly mess that up too bad. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's where I'm leaning. What about you guys?
I don't know, Gene. You looked like you were going to say something.
Oh yeah, no, I'm an old school Halo guy, so I kind of there's right now discourse about the Halo anniversary map playlist on Halo Infinite, right, where they remove sprinting and clamoring, and some people are having a lot more fun with that, And I think maybe the player base is going up, and so like that's like ammunition for the old Halo heads like me to say, look, we shouldn't have evolved. The combat of Combat Evolved, and I'm kind of with that too. And I think Chris and I have talked about this too. It's like the slower pace of Halo is the point. Like the point is that like everyone is moving at this exact same speed. So that's why the game is about like, throwing grenades or getting cover or moving in the right space and making sure that you get you do the follow through and the aiming right, versus that person was just running faster than me at that moment,
Sure.
It's more like a chess game kind of where like everyone has the same moves and we're all trying to like outplay each other versus armor abilities and all of a sudden like Halo becomes like a mini hero shooter or whatever like that. It's like no, we don't want that. So but I haven't played Halo Infinite in a while, so I don't really have like too strong feelings about it, other than I understand the old school discourse about wanting to get rid of that stuff, because I kind of like that stuff too. I kind of like not having clamor and sprint. So.
I think having part of your identity is very important to the game, and of course pleasing the fans, but you have to change some way, I think, to keep up with modern audiences. We see a lot of games struggle with this. Some games do it better than others, but it's like, what can Halo do, I suppose, to still be one of like the top premier franchises? Because in my opinion, it's not anymore. It hasn't been for a while, despite its legacy. Of course, like back in the 360 and Xbox One days, it was like a premier franchise, FPS at least. I don't know if it is in the space anymore. I don't think it is.
No.
Oh, you're muted, Cog.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. So they got to a great start and they just kind of like fizzled the hell out. But I think for me, they're going to have to offer some modes, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because you think BR? They need a BR?
They're going to have to offer at least the option, because even though I'm the grizzled guy that likes it the way I like it, and you know what I'm saying, I'm kind of with Gene in that pocket, I don't know if that translates to the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So part of me thinks they may have to do like their little Warzone spinoff,
Warzone was great. Warzone.
Yeah.
Well, Halo 5's Warzone was great.
Yes.
That was a fantastic mode that they just gave up on. And
what was the one with cards? Was that the one where you get like cards in the game or something to like unlock vehicles?
Trying to remember if it had cards in it. Now.
Let me look. I'll look this up.
I feel like it did, but I don't remember.
I feel like Halo 5 had a PvP VE mode where it's like these massive maps with like cool fortresses and everything like that. And it's like Halo 5 multiplayer was really, really good, even though it had the worst single player campaign of all time.
Yeah, it's called the Warzone multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
Incorporated a card-based system called the REQ system.
That's right, yeah.
They can earn REQ points through gameplay, which is then used to purchase packs.
Yeah, the requisition packs. Yeah,
packs. Yep, forgot for some reason.
Yeah, but like like even for Halo Infinite, I really thought that like Halo Infinite would do well for Battle Royale. You got this big ass map. Like I know it's not a very exciting and innovative idea, but in 2020 it was kind of cool.
Yeah, dude, Halo VR sounds awesome.
Right, with the physics and the vehicles,
sandbox,
right? Yeah, it would have been perfect for BR, and also like you're playing solo in Halo, so you're still like you're still doing your thing. You're still your own Spartan surviving against other Spartans. Story wise, you can write a whole story around something like that too.
Absolutely.
I don't understand why that never happened.
I don't know. Well, yeah, it's a long history of stuff that I heard. Just like, wow, it was really dysfunctional in there. And leadership had to be removed, and now they, apparently they have leadership that they're comfortable with. So we will see. But I'm pulling for them. But they will. The vibe I'm getting is, even Phil kind of said it, that some form of Halo will be next year because it's the 25th anniversary of Xbox, 25th anniversary of Halo.
I gotta say, I'm not that excited for a Combat Evolved remaster.
I'm not either. Yeah. I would prefer, but it's really what I realize with Xbox right now. It's not about us. It's about the PlayStation and Nintendo Switch fans.
You're right. You know what? Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
getting that new audience.
It's like, bro, the same way you rolled your eyes is how I would Gears Reload. I'm like, okay, I already had Gears. Okay, but what it is, Gene. That the numbers and the MAU and the sales and the pre-orders is showing us otherwise. People are like, yes!
Gears 1 only sold a couple million. They could, with the audience with size right now that it is with the global audience, give that another shot, Yeah, no.
They're milking it. They got to break this thing off one at a time.
Yeah. But, I'm hoping for Halo. All three of us enjoy Halo. I at least like a lot of the old ones. They were awesome at the time. Classic. So groundbreaking franchise. I would love to see Halo back on top because we all have great memories of them and they are fun games. Yeah. Hopefully they'll figure something out that works. I don't know. 343 still in charge of it. They're like Halo Studios now.
Halo Studios.
I know you and Matt have been very critical of their handling of Halo, so I agree with you two on that. So
they got to get the smoke until they've proven otherwise.
Yeah. All right. This is from Steven Campos. Hey, Summoners. Guys, with the ROG Ally coming this fall, that ROG Xbox Ally coming this fall, should I buy myself a Steam Deck, Lenovo Go, or a ROG Ally now, or wait until the ROG Xbox Ally comes out? I, for one, welcome this new feature of handheld gaming that the Nintendo Switch has ushered in. All right, Cog, this is your wheelhouse. Or actually, both your wheelhouses. You guys are both big handheld PC guys and stuff like that. Cog, let's start with you. What do you think? Should he pull the trigger now on one of these or wait for the Xbox One?
If you care about multiple storefronts, to me, it's very simple. If you play most of your games on Steam, then it makes no sense not to get a Steam. Like it is just the cleanest UI. Everything works. It boots up.
Cheaper.
There's no reason. If the majority of your library is on Steam, there's really no reason for you to not get a Steam Deck.
Great build quality. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good. I can't say anything really bad about it.
I like it better than the Switch 2. I like holding it better than the Switch 2. Straight up.
And then the pads for precision, with different PC
games. Like the
touchpad thing. The touchpad, it really works with RTS. It works with everything. It's a well designed thing. So I gotta shout out to my man Jimmy Champagne. He goes hard with Steam Deck ready and all that. Deck ready, you know what I'm saying? Salute to them. But yeah, can't say anything bad about Steam Deck. So if that's the case, but if you are a person who either A, loves Xbox, Game Pass, the ecosystem, B, likes games on multiple storefronts. If you want to get your GOG, your Ubisoft, your
Epic Game Store,
and, you know what I'm saying, BattleNet and all that, you can do that. And a lot of people, the main thing that people like about it is that also native Game Pass, no streaming, download it straight to your hard drive, and you're ready to rock and roll it. And the fact that Windows Play Anywhere is a game changer. The fact when I was at Summer Game Fest, downloaded Final Fantasy 16, played it on the plane, got all my data, got off the plane, continued it. It said install on my Xbox because it recognized the purchase already. And then boom, me and Clive are rocking and rolling, which all go right where I'm at. That's the future of gaming to me. So it's depending on where you purchase your games, what I would say. And even though it's tempting to get the Ally X now, being that I played the Xbox ROG Ally X, the new, oh, you better wait. Okay. You better wait. Don't get the Ally right now. You wait for the Xbox Ally X. It is that much of a jump. And feature-wise and UI-wise, they're trying to finally be in a Steam Deck-like space.
Yeah. Just kind of weird off-topic thing you remind me of, Cog, is when Doom: The Dark Ages came out, I got Game Pass to play it. Tried to download it on the PC app. Just wouldn't let me download it. I couldn't do it. Just wouldn't work. However, I was able to download it on BattleNet.
Oh,
and I was like, this is good.
Yes.
BattleNet works much better than the Xbox app. So I'm like, Guys keep putting stuff on Battle.net then. It works better.
Are.
Yeah,
they
okay,
are.
good.
So what Xbox is doing, they're using the Xbox app, they're using extensions now. So for Battle.net games, and I think Battle.net games, Ubisoft, and it'll take you now to the launcher of Battle.net where they run better and right.
I'm like, just use that storefront, guys. Or at least let us, I would much rather use Battle.net because it does work better for me.
Yeah, fair enough.
Random thing. Gene, what would you recommend out of this for Steven here?
Steam Deck. Just get a Steam Deck.
Steam Deck, yeah. If you want a game right now,
there's not gonna be a Steam Deck 2 in a long time. Don't wait for that. So
no Steam Deck, damn.
No, there's not gonna be a Steam Deck 2 for a long time. Valve is not interested in that right now. They're gonna wait for a long time. So don't hold on for the next thing. The Steam Deck is the thing right now. So next thing is Legion, the Lenovo Go or the ROG Ally if you want to upgrade, but that's about it though.
All right. This is from the Gooninator. What's good, my summon little bakas? This is a question that comes to my mind recently. Has there ever been a game series or games where you started with the sequels before playing the original game? Mine was starting with Assassin's Creed 2 and falling in love with the series before going back to play 1. Being a kid when the sequel was announced and seeing Ezio with dual hidden blades and a hidden gun just grabbed me easier than a Fortnite player seeing Hank Hill in the item shop. Thanks for answering if you do, and I'll hang up and listen inside the walls. Yeah, Hank Hill's in Fortnite now. That's crazy. Love that. Yeah. I got one right off the bat yes, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Ooh. I hopped in before playing the first game.
Yes.
And of course, I missed out on context. I'd always recommend, if you have the time, to play through the original game first, because I think it's better to play through the game instead of watching a story recap. Story recap's totally fine on YouTube, but when you play the game, you spend a lot more time in a much more natural way with all these characters, so it makes everything hit harder. And there was definitely some stuff in 2 I missed out on, like some narrative threads, but overall, I'm very happy I did, because I know I probably wouldn't have gotten to 2 this year at all. So I was like, all right, just got to hop in. But I'm very happy I did, because I loved Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's one of my favorite games of the year so far. Awesome game. Shout out to Henry. Good shit. I know Cog's a big fan as well.
Yeah, that's our baby.
You singing the praise. So very good with that. Cog, what about you? Have you ever hopped into a sequel?
Yeah. It's actually recently. I never played a Space Marines game. I started Space Marines 2 for the first time. And I was like, man, this Titus thing, I'm loving this. This is wow, I'm feeling it. And then now they've announced the part 1.
Looks like Is that out now?
It's coming soon. I believe it's coming soon. But it may be out. You may be right. It may be. I've been so head down with alters and all the games I'm playing, Final Fantasy. But that is what I'm going to jump into next. Because people, I guess they remade it. And now it's coming to Xbox. I don't know. They got some type of temporary.
It's out now. Yeah,
it's out now. So I'm going to jump into that next. And at Summer Game Fest, they had a DLC. Was it Dark Tide or something?
Yeah, probably Dark Tide. Yeah,
that looked amazing.
Yeah, Dark Tide's like Vermintide, which is kind of like Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. There's so many. I'm so late to
there's so many Warhammer games.
So many Warhammer games. But so I would say Space Marines 2 was the sequel. Yeah, I never played the original, and I'm like, damn, this game is fire. I'm loving it, and I'm gonna play the first one.
Cool. Gene, what about you, man?
Nothing really. I guess Elder Scrolls. I played Daggerfall, so like it's earlier than most people still, but I didn't play the first game, so that's about it. But otherwise, I'm old and I like to play all the games when they happen. So I always start at 1. There's almost no game series where I didn't start at 1, basically.
Nice.
Yeah. Even Fallout 1. I played Fallout 1 back in the day too.
Damn.
Yeah. Diablo 1.
You played Grand Theft Auto 1?
I did play Grand Theft Auto 1. I didn't really love it, but I did play it. So that's why I was really excited for Grand Theft Auto 3. So I was like, oh, 3D,
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
That was a good one. You almost got me there, but
that was good, bro. You a beast. I give you credit, man. I would have liked that. I'm like, oh no. But then again, if you played it at the time, it makes sense. Yeah.
You play it at the time. Yeah. I'm not playing. I'm not going back to Grand Theft Auto 1 after playing 3 or whatever like that. That's for sure.
I got you.
All right. Final write-in here from Sean Mason. Hey, Summoners. With the school year finally wrapped up, I'm pumped to kick off my summer of gaming. That got me thinking, what are some of your favorite gaming memories from summers past? Best, Sean M. Summer memories, man. Especially when you're in school, you didn't have work yet.
Yeah.
You just nothing. Just hang out.
No responsibilities. I miss what I consider the all-night blaze session.
Oh, yeah.
You got the food, you got the chips, the soda, whatever you was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You had no responsibilities, no work, no school the next day, your favorite game. I think for me, it was like, that's how I like really got into Oblivion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I was just no life in
Summer, yeah.
Yeah, Fighters Guild and made all that stuff, Mage, Dark Brotherhood, and it's a good summer game. It's a good summer game as well. Sometimes you got to get out the house though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun. Those are some of my memories.
Gene, what about you, man?
I think Halo 1, yeah.
Ooh, beautiful.
When I discovered it, I bought the Xbox later, so yeah, when Halo 1 came out, I just played that all summer.
Absolutely.
And then I would go to my friends' houses for the LAN parties, and we were all out of school, out of college, and we were back home, and reunite.
Yeah.
Grab our TVs and bring it over to.
Bring the TVs over. Bring the whole
set over, man.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
projectors, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
For me, I think of the N64 a lot in the summer because I was like a good age for that. I was like 6th grade, 7th grade,
good one.
Playing Smash all night and stuff like that with your boys.
Good one.
Mario Kart, all that kind of stuff. I associate with summer a lot.
Yes. The rise of the 4-port console, controller console. Shout out to the wrestling games with that 64.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
No Mercy.
Yeah, legendary.
The best wrestling games was on 64.
Yeah, so fun. Super Mario Sunshine came out in the summer, I remember. That was a good one. And so I played these when they came out, but I didn't finish them. But in the summer, I decided, I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish both these games. It was the back-to-back. I did Final Fantasy 12 and Dragon Quest 8 back-to-back one summer.
Wow.
Great.
And it was awesome, dude. I loved it on PS2.
Killed it.
It was so good. I was happy to get through those games, man, because those games were bricks, dude. But yeah, I always think of summer break with those games particularly.
Nice.
All right, boys. That's it. A nice episode in the bag. Another one. Cog, Gene, thank you both for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Cog, great to see you in person at Summer Game Fest. Hopefully next year as well. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was dope.
Yeah,
always good to see you, brother. You already know. And like I said, I was just glad that you became a main character in my story. I was like, people wouldn't believe this story if I told it a zillion times. You was involved with it, man. There was so many people involved with it. Yeah. But the dream ended up happening.
The dream happened, yeah. It was bumpy ride, but we got you.
But we got this.
All right. And Gene, thanks, man, for taking time. I know you're very busy as well. And I'll see you on Punching Up tomorrow for us.
Sure.
So it'll be good stuff. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for listening and watching. We appreciate it. We'll see you next week. Take care and goodbye. Summon Sign is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand LLC and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and hosted by me, Brad Ellis. The show is produced by Dustin Furman. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Summon Sign, along with the rest of Last Stand's media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we are grateful for your kind contribution and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.